good morning everyone and welcome along to the Broadcasting Lounge. We've got a very special event for you today. We're here in Melbourne, Australia at the famous Sandown circuit for the Simblacks Sandown 500. I'm Shane and I've got a legend of virtual motorsport NZ sitting next to me in the Broadcasting Lounge today, Corey Kitchen. How's it going, Corey?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Just hanging out, waiting for some sweet racing this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be hugely exciting. Sandown 500, of course, in the real world, seen as the traditional curtain raiser to the Bathurst 1000. Of course, the last few years, for COVID reasons, we haven't seen it in real life, but it's back again this year, and we're lucky enough to have the opportunity to run our virtual version as well, and we will also be following that up on the 1st of October with our virtual version of the Bathurst 1000. So this is a pretty good warm-up for that, but at the same time, all of these guys, well, they're going to be out to win it, aren't they, Corey?
Yeah, definitely, and it's not going to be one on the first lap, so hopefully everything's nice and clean and some good racing for the afternoon to sit down and watch.
Yeah, should be highly entertaining. 161 laps. Interestingly, the same number of laps to complete 1,000 kilometres of Bathurst gets you 500 k's here at Sandown, so that'll be interesting to see. Bit of info about the track that we're at here, Sandown International Motor Raceway. So it's a 3.1 kilometre circuit, and you can see it on the screen there. It's very tight, sharp corners with a bit of flowing stuff around the back as well. And often looked at similarly to Bathurst as a couple of drag strips connected by some corners in between. So the guys will have to get through those corners nicely and get off the important corners onto the straights nice and clean there to make sure they're carrying maximum speed down the straight. 18 degrees air temperature today, so not too warm for the guys, and looking at 22 degrees currently on track, so that should create a nice level of grip and hopefully the guys won't have too much trouble out there. And for a closer look at the track, during practice we were able to jump on board with Sean McNamara and he gave us a lap around the circuit for that. So without further ado, here is that.
Alright, here we go for a semi-fast lap around Sandown onto the main straight. Ease on the gas, click it up through the third, fourth, fifth, up into sixth gear, ready for the braking zone. I stay hard right, just before the wall there, down to the third. I'll make right to the apex, get it turned, don't run wide as you lose too much time. Hit the limiter, down a gear and climb the curves through this section of 2, 3, and as we come into 4, miss the curb but get it tucked in quick and get on the gas. You lose a lot of time there if you don't take that right. I'm not the best at that corner, a couple of tenths off, but here we go down the back straight, getting up to around 270 km braking zone in the 50 forward. Trail it into the apex and I'm going a bit deep. No, run over the curb there, which is cool, down 2 gears. I told Shane I wouldn't be able to make this corner. Look at that, there we go, we're around there. So, looking good in between the two markers here for the braking zone. Just clip the curb here. Don't run wide at the last turn if you lose too much time. No wheel spin, I've got a little bit of it, and that is a lap around Sandown.
Alright, so that's how to get around the Sandown circuit through the eyes of Sean McNamara. So what do we got? We got about 10 minutes until the race goes live. Sorry, didn't want to click there. Guys are currently going around for the warm-up session at the moment, and from the blimp we're just looking down on Ryan Wood out on track, paired up with Richie Stanaway, so that's a very exciting combination. Couple of SuperCars drivers. Of course, Richie Stanaway this year only competing as a co-driver at the real version of this race and Bathurst, but next year on the grid full time, and Ryan Wood currently Super 2 and stepping up to SuperCars next year. Shane Van Gisbergen also out there on track. And you can see the times they're putting down in their warm-up session as well. We were going to run through the grid order, but unfortunately we came across a little bit of a hiccup with that. We should be able to get that for you once they're gridding up, but for the meantime we can see the times they're putting down in qualifying, and you can see there's some close times up there. Shane and Richie separated by under half a tenth of a second, or under a tenth of a second, sorry. Yeah, under half a tenth of a second even, so super close, and you can see down to 10th position before you're getting outside of a second. So for a technical track like this, that's very close, isn't it, Corey?
The next 14 cars after that are only split by less than a second as well.
Yes, it's super close racing. We should see some, or super close times. We should see some great racing today.
There's some pretty awesome paint jobs we've seen pop up as well, retro style for Sandown.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, let us know what you think about those retro paints as well. We do have a prize as part of this for the best paint job. We haven't exactly come up with exactly how we're going to determine that, so let us know what you think, and we may end up taking that feedback on board when it comes time to determine who that prize should go to.
Yeah, definitely jump on the YouTube chat and fire away your favourite paint team.
So here's some race facts for you. So as I said before, 161 laps to complete 500 kilometres. Guys are burning around about just over 2.5 litres a lap. Obviously there will be a bit of variation from driver to driver, team to team in that, and some guys may be able to save a little bit more and get a lower burn rate, but looking at being able to get about around 44 laps out of a 111 litre tank. That means you're going to be looking at doing 3 stops during the race today. And critical lap to fuel up and get home will be lap 117. So that's going to be an important point to keep in mind to know when we could potentially see those final pit stops coming in. And everybody will have to complete at least 21 laps as a minimum driver requirement to make sure that their team makes it, or is classified at the end in the results. So obviously that means less than the range of a tank, so potentially guys can get, if they've got someone that they consider to be a slightly slower driver than their main driver, they can potentially get that driver's requirement out of the way in a single stint and then run the rest of their laps with their main driver if they choose to do so. Of course, no requirement as such for them to nominate a main driver and a co-driver, but there may be guys out there that do have a bit of a gap that they perceive to be between them, and they might choose to run their fast lap for the majority of the race, or their faster driver for the majority of the race, while making sure their second driver just does those minimum laps. But I think the majority of the field, the guys are probably fairly closely matched, so we're probably going to see the laps fairly shared pretty equally between most of the drivers. Just running down now with about 5 minutes to go until they will be gridding out.
She's a pretty quick lap around here with most guys doing it in the 106s, 107s and 108s. So it's only a 3.1 kilometre lap, 13 turns, and the lap record is held by a S5000, it's a 104.5, which is flying.
Yeah, that's super quick, and yeah, like you say, a short lap, so it doesn't take long for the guys to get around and start another lap. Probably a big challenge when it comes to an endurance race like this, as opposed to when you look at Bathurst being obviously roughly twice the distance to get the same number of laps out of a double length race. You're obviously getting around to start another lap much quicker, and that can be a real challenge when it comes to endurance racing. When you're seeing the same corners over and over again and coming across them quite quickly, it can make those stints feel quite long. So how the guys manage that and manage that mental fatigue is going to be really interesting to see.
Well, one thing they've got in their favour compared to the real drivers is, you know, where they're sitting right now in their virtual race car, in their lounge or their garage. and hopefully they've got their aircon on and a beer handy.
Yeah, for sure. Creature comforts that you can't necessarily get in a race car, where you're probably looking at close to 30 degrees Celsius, or maybe even higher than that in the cabin, depending on the weather out there as well. But obviously a lot of heat coming off those engines. For us, our PCs can generate a fair bit of heat, but if you've got a fan or some air conditioning next to you and a cold beer, then it becomes a lot more manageable. So Doug wants to know if he can vote for best livery. Of course you can, Doug. You're an admin. You're always going to vote. And Mr. Kiflom says number 22, the Castrol-inspired livery. Easy question. So let's see if we can find car 22 out there while they're all going around.
In the pits.
We do have a nice shot of it here, though, sitting in the pits. Let's see if we can jump on maybe a rear chase cam. Look at that. That is a beautiful looking car, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've heard stories that green on a race car can give you a bit of bad luck, so hopefully that's not true for these boys today from Juiced Racing.
Yeah, 100%. And as they come out on track, we'll be able to get a good look at a few different angles of it as well as they're blasting around. So look at that, I believe that is inspired by an old Greg Murphy livery actually. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know, that's definitely very cool. And there's another one there, a couple of cars in front of it, looking pretty good there too.
Yes, a Leon Ware.
Session and wedges.
Yeah. Leon Ware and Sean McNamara running the Benson and Hedges inspired livery, Session and Wedges.
And it looks to be Simblacks rival Sim Whites, one of their sponsors.
Yeah, I do see that across the window banner there, so nice creative stuff there. I believe that's one Leon's put together, and he always has a bit of humour behind his liveries, and he's come through with this one as well, so great to see.
And it's the trademark Sean McNamara white wheels. Tells me that that's Sean's car.
Yeah. Don't know how I feel about that, but it does always identify it pretty easily when you see those white wheels out there, so I guess we'd better let him off, and I think we've given him enough of a hard time about it.
Yeah, I've been giving him a hard time for years. He gives it straight back.
Yeah, 100%. So hopefully we should see this tick over into the gridding stage in a moment. Yep, looks like we're going to do that now. So guys, we'll have a couple of minutes to get gridded up, and now that we're doing that, we can have a look at what the grid looks like. So you can see there Brad Newman teaming up with Shane Van Gisbergen and taking the pole position. Blake Warby's, not entirely sure who he's teamed up with there in second position. Richie Stanaway and Ryan Wood are going to line up third. Jamie Dyke fourth. Brake Delaney fifth. Jack Mara sixth. Harrison Dengate seventh. Luke Dilworth eighth. Zach Blinko ninth. Simon Hedderscheid 10th. Timothy Vaughan 11th. Zachary Livengood 12th. And unfortunately, I don't think I've got the ability to scroll that down, but I can run down the rest of the order quickly. We've got Ben Stewart 13th, Ty Delaney 14th, Craig Mason 15th, Harry Dodds 16th, Bruce Tannock 17th, Kevin West 18th, Heath Parlett 19th, Dion de Graaf 20th. And actually I think we're about to go green, so it's given us a short warm-up period there, so let's get underway, and they do set off.
Alright, how exciting to say.
Oh, good morning, Wade. Or good afternoon.
Piling down into turn one there.
It's going to be a blast today.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at all those cars back there and back heading down through turns 2, 3 and 4 now. Really onto that camera, coming through turn 4, out onto that straight now, and still super tight down the back there.
Very clean start so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, super clean, good to see.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Got
big moment.
No, you
Yeah.
can get it back up. What a save.
Got some data down the graph going off track. Someone in the fence there as well.
Oh yeah, the STP reduced.
Coming down into the last couple of corners now. And coming down the straight, and look how far away Shane Van Gisbergen is, already down into turn 1 as those guys at the back are just getting themselves sorted out. So Shane Van Gisbergen out to a half a second lead over Blake Warbees. Richie Stanaway's dropped back to 4th in that start, so not the greatest start for him, but getting settled down, and you can see that field looks like it's starting to settle down pretty nicely now in single file. But the battle towards the front is already looking super tight. Like Blake Warbees in the Super Cheap car there, sliding in behind Shane Van Gisbergen. We know how quick Shane is, so to see guys able to bring the fight to him early on, that's great. But obviously these guys will be already starting to think about managing everything. They're going to make their tyres last to get through hopefully a full tank of fuel and get them changed over when they get into the pits.
Yeah, certainly going to be some strategies changing as the day goes on, especially with me and Bill.
I think
Yes,
with you and Bill, it's straight out the window, isn't it? Just be winging it.
Yeah, I only race 3 times a year and only in endurances, and I never get any practice beforehand, so yeah.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Oh, and you just grabbed a spot there, have you? Oh no, you might be in an incident there, Wayne. Oh,
yeah,
car,
oh, bit of a tangle there, unfortunate.
Yeah, no worries. Bill will be fine. Oh, I think he's gonna
Okay,
skip.
we better jump off that. We don't want to see Bill doing all that stuff, do we?
Oh, he'll be fuming, but oh well, life goes on.
Yeah, for sure. So I was going to ask you what your plan was for the race there, Wayne, but I guess that's all gone out the window now, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of letting somebody else start. So yeah, if they do a full clean run before I jump in, well then the nerves go through the roof. But yeah, now I can jump in pretty comfortable and know that I've got a clean driver here.
Yeah, 100%. So we did see a couple of little dramas early on in the race, so we'll see if we can bring up some information on that. So we've got Dion de Graaf going off track on lap 1, so let's see what happened there. So he's side by side with Blake Greenhill. Oh no, sorry, Blake Greenhill is his teammate. Let's get that onto a better camera.
Trying to nose his way through a little gap there.
Yeah.
Had a message through from Magga. He's just asked me to who's the best livery for you guys today. Very privileged, but I will be swayed by people's comments. So jump on the YouTube stream, leave a comment with the car number, with your favourite livery on it, and hopefully that persuades me.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
100%. So yeah, Dion tangling with another car through that. So it looks like, yeah, so it was Peter Vanderberg that had contact with him. Peter managed to gather it up, and it was Dion that ended up in the fence out of that, and then the STP car firing into the fence in behind. Oh, sorry, that was Peter there. So just getting caught up in that little drama that Dion de Graaf was involved in, and getting tagged in the rear and sent into the fence. So that's unfortunate, but plenty of time to recover. It's a long race. And
Right,
we'll
I'm
get some
going
race
to
into
shoot
it.
down and check in with my teamate. I'll see you guys a bit later on, eh?
Yeah, good
Cheers,
luck,
Wayne.
mate.
Good luck.
Cool.
So we are only on lap 5 out of 161, so plenty of time for those guys that haven't had the best start of their race to get some recovery. But super close racing here at the front. Shane Van Gisbergen just stretching out a little bit, but still sitting around half a second there, and Blake Warbies and Jamie Dyke not far behind at all, so those guys are pushing him hard already. Bouncing over the curbs there, as Sean described in his little hot lap video that we played at the start of the stream, and all looking pretty tame at this point. It's tight racing, but all these guys seem to understand that it is a long race and there's no sense trying anything too drastic to make a pass at the moment, so they're still happy to settle into that group, settle into single file and run some nice clean laps by the look of it.
Yeah, as you were saying about the curbs around here, you can't avoid them, so you need to make sure your setup is good for the curbs, so you're not bouncing off them and over to the other side of the track.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of tracks where you try and stay off the curbs in these cars because they can tend to unsettle it, but like you say, this track, hard to avoid those. You're needing to, especially that turn 2-3 sequence, you're needing to throw the car over there to extract the lap time. So, like you say, you need to have that car set up optimally to be able to handle that and not be thrown off. So there's a lot of work that goes into getting the dampers right for this circuit, and looks like at the moment at least these top 3 have got their cars set pretty well.
Yeah, well, it's just 11 seconds down to the guy in 10th so far, so the field's spreading out quite well at the moment, but as you say, it's a 161 lap race, and with some random safety car inevitable, everything will bunch back up again.
Yeah, for sure, there's definitely going to be at least one yellow coming during this race. It's all been determined randomly. I know when and how many, nobody else does, so you guys will just have to wait and see. Everybody that's driving will just have to wait and see, and there's going to be a strategic element with that as well, because with the iRacing system for yellow flags, which we're running, given that we don't have anyone available to run a manual safety car, iRacing will close the pits when the yellow comes out. So NASCAR or IndyCar style, the pits will close, everybody will group up, and then the pits will open and everybody will be allowed to come in and make those pits. So potentially, if you've managed to pit just before the yellow comes out, you can actually gain a massive advantage by being able to jump all the way to the front of the pack while everybody else comes in. So getting that timing right for the yellows is going to be a big part of how the race pans out, but that's all going to come down to luck when the yellow falls and how the guys can take advantage of that. Nobody that's in the race knows when the yellow is going to be, so they're all just going to have to hope they can time their pit stop right.
Yeah, it's all on hopes and dreams at the moment, isn't it?
100%.
So we've just got another few people shouting out. So best livery got to be Hell number 1 Pizza. Hell Pizza number 1. Thanks Joel Hanks. We got somebody's shouting out for 28. That's Macca's car at 28.
Yeah, I believe 28 is Macca's car. This is the Hell Pizza livery here, so that's Ben Stewart driving that at the moment. Bit marked up down the right hand side, unfortunately, but if we can get a shot on the left hand side as it comes through here, that is looking pretty good.
Oh well, yeah, he's teamed up with Joel Hanks, so he's voting for his own car there. Thanks for pointing it out, mate.
Maybe slightly biased there then. And car 28. Yeah, well, that's Leon and Sean, so the Session and Wedges car.
And that was neither of them that shouted them out, so just pointed that out. Speaking of Sean McNamara, here he is.
Hey boys, I'm going to come in. I hear there's a massive audience, 40 people, so I said, well done.
Yeah, plenty of comments coming through as well, and Daniel Sneddon shouting out your livery.
Yeah.
So that's why we just clicked on your car.
Mm-hmm. That's not Leon, though. That's
I'd expect nothing less from you.
No, he's been up to like 2 hours making that, so we definitely can't fault him for his effort. Well done.
I can assure you, doing paints, I do not like doing tribute paints or anything like that. I just can't do it. So credit to him. If you sat down for 10 hours making that, I believe it.
Yeah, obviously not all of them, but it's good to learn it. You actually got to get up nice and close, so I mean, you won't give it on the screen, but even our names on the side of the car, just like the tribute one, but a little bit of spelling is a little bit different for our last name. So it's quite cool. A lot of little bits here and there have gone into it. It's really awesome. So, can I just talk about lap 1, 2, and 3? What went on? Crazy, wasn't it?
I thought it was pretty good.
Some trying to pass at the end of the back straight, which is obviously the worst place for any driver to try and be passed. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, we saw a bit of action going on there. But yeah, I think most of the guys are pretty well behaved. There's always going to be some small issues there. Like you say, that incident at the end of that back straight, which I think looked like it led to the concertina, resulted in Peter Vandenberg getting pushed into the wall as well after Sandown Road, unfortunately. But hey, it's a long race. These guys have unlimited fast repairs available as well. We were quite generous to them on that front with this race. We wanted to make sure as many people as possible stick around to the end of the race, so they can come in, fix their cars up if they need to. Hopefully those guys that had dramas can stick it out to be in the window for that scheduled first stop and take that fast repair and carry on. And then it's a long race to be able to get back into it.
The fuck you doing, man?
Oh wow, it's all good. So you must have some action happening now. I have some people on the mic. Simblacks cars. So she's old Simblacks for jumping on board for this special event. Well done.
Yeah, cheers to him and the team at Simblacks.
I think he gave me an open checkbook too. Let's give away some of his money.
Oh, it's yep, definitely send me some of that.
So Ross Watson on the replay there, just locking rears into turn 1, unfortunately. Lucky does well to, Brendan doing well to get around him, and Ross did well to navigate that without causing any further dramas, so good stuff.
How is the field looking? Maybe we got to scroll down and have a chat about some of them.
Yeah, so back near the front, Richie Stanaway is looking to bridge that gap up to the top 3. Harrison Dengate is sitting in behind him at the moment in his own little world there, so that's probably the most comfortable place to be in a race like this, to be honest. Get into your own little zone, get some nice clean laps in, and just be able to focus on hitting your own marks.
Is the lead pack actually now catching the back of the field, so we're going to have a little bit of patience. We need to be start by the front runners. There is obviously what we call in the sim world a bit of a skill gap, isn't there, between the front and the back of the field, so a little bit of patience I think has to come into play.
Yeah, for sure. So those guys are going to have to be aware that the guys at the tail aren't going to be quite as quick as them, and take the time to make sure they get around cleanly. Obviously, if they try and get too pushy, then they risk putting themselves on the wall as well as the guy that they're trying to get past to. Hey, it's in everybody's best interest to try and get that done as cleanly as possible, and I think Shane's actually stretched the gap, and I think he's navigated the first of that lap traffic, but looks like...
I like Jamie's photo. I like Jamie's photo. Very good.
Yeah, not bad.
He's put some effort into that.
Yeah.
Chin up a little. He's done well, Jamie. I like it, mate. Good on you.
Now the question is, has he just repurposed his Tinder profile picture for that one?
So good. What a line. Shane, I love it. This is what we're here for. We go to Bill, or Bill's one. I think Bill can do better with his photo.
I gotta find Bill in the list.
Yeah,
There he is,
I
down
saw
to
running with
33rd.
the delay. So if anyone's new to SuperCars and streams, I'm glad Lee Swinney's not here because his photo's even worse. So,
Of course, Sean, you and I had the privilege to meet Bill in person, and I think we can confirm that that is genuinely Bill.
very close, very close. That's the frown he's got on from that contact that was earlier, which I don't believe was his fault. So that's the frown he's running at the moment. Yeah. Good on Bill for keep going though in that car. That livery, since we're still on Bill, was also made by Leon, and it's not looking like we gave it to him. Now, Leon is quite special people. Oh, as we watch that, sorry, we're excited. We hit him something on that livery. I don't know if he actually said to Bill or a little picture somewhere on it. But we will tell him.
Is that the sexy on the front bumper, or the
no,
Taranaki hardcore on the back?
I don't think we're going to show it on the stream, but when you get a chance, have a look on the left rear wheel in a guard on the front. There's a little picture. So, it's not stream purpose, but there's a little picture.
So not stream appropriate.
It's not stream appropriate, but only from a distance. I think most people will get it.
Leave my bloody team out alone, alright?
Did we tell you we put a little special picture on your livery? Did we tell you about that, Leon? Did we not?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is it hidden somewhere? Like
It is. I just said on the stream where it is too. But
I was gonna ask
moving on.
where he'd put that, where he'd put something dodgy, so yeah.
So if you flip that around, you would see it, Shane, at that angle there. If you flipped it around, it's on the front where the exhaust would be on a normal car, you know?
Alright.
Yeah, you would see the photo.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's where his head is. That's basically where his head is. In the picture. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, there you go. You can turn it around. We're doing everything's on the fly here at the broadcasting lounge. There's a bit of a group forming behind my teammate. That's alright. Yes, that's the angle, but you just need to go back.
oh, I don't think I can turn mouse aim off.
No. Yeah. Anyway, so if you can figure it out later, I don't think we need to. You're there. You need to go to the back wheel.
Back wheel.
Must be on the other side.
No,
Must be.
it's there. It's just considered there.
Over there, we've scratched it off already.
On the other side of that. We're the trees.
I think we might be stuck on this camera now.
Yeah. That's cool for the stream.
Welcome to
it's got
SuperCars
rubber.
and Z.
It's got rubber all over it now.
Yeah.
Alright. You're going to have to sort that out, Shane. I'm sure you'll figure it out, mate.
I hope so.
Yeah. There's a button. You need your mate, Doug.
It's a photo, isn't it? I can see it. That's a photo.
It is a photo. Might need to go to a break.
Yeah, we'll find a picture of it and we'll share it around.
No, it's more him trying to get that camera sorted out.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm going back down to my team.
Meantime, we'll have a break and Shane will suss his cameras.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, you're close.
Okay, well, I managed to turn mouse aim off anyway, so we're back in action.
There you go. Yeah, so SuperCars NZ, Simblacks Broadcasting Lounge, humming around Sandown 500. What a blast, eh?
It's been some good racing so far, Wayne.
Yeah, no, it's just as much about the fun as the racing as well for us anyway at SuperCars NZ. So, all a bit of a laugh and yeah, get in there.
And here's another livery that's inspired along the same lines of your one, Wayne. Harry Dodds with Juice Racing there in another Marlboro HDT inspired livery.
Yeah, so we had a blank car last night and Leon Ware at 10:30 started that livery. So overnight livery R1.
Wow, that's awesome. He's done a great job of it before we get it together overnight. I know I've done a few liveries myself and I know how time consuming they can be and frustrating to try and get everything lined up right, so he's done an amazing job of that.
Yeah, good bit of fun. It's all good, alright. Should we follow somebody else instead of commentators cursing old teammate Bill?
Well, we're off Bill now. This is the other HDT car, Harry Dodds.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah.
We could play a bit of a game here. And which Kiwi has the most Sandown 500 wins? If anyone on the stream wants to come up with that one.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Or we bring the trivia questions to the stream. Awesome to hear.
He's sitting on
Well, I
Google.
can tell you that if you can tell, one of you guys might know who has the most wins at Sandown 500.
Out of everybody?
Yeah, overall.
Ooh.
I can tell you it's blatantly obvious. Looking at the paint that you're looking at right now.
Must be PB.
That's definitely Peter Wright. So he won 73, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81 and 84.
Wow, there we go.
So following up behind him, you've got Alan Moffat, Craig Lowndes both with 6, Jamie Whincup with 5. And then you've got a bunch of drivers with 3 and a bunch of drivers with 2.
It doesn't look like FSVG's going to get his one today with Supercars NZ.
Well, he's out in front, 5 seconds clear now, so he's really put the hammer down. He took his time to get those tyres into the window like we so often see, and now he's focusing on opening the gap. At some point in the future he's going to hand over to Brad Newman to do his laps.
And his dad, Brad's definitely no slouch in a sim either. The pair of them won Virtual Motorsport Enduro for mental health last year as well, around Chicago.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
cool.
Awesome
Tough.
event that always is, and I believe you're in the process of planning that again for this year, Corey.
Very slowly at the moment, very slowly. Yeah, things are going to have to kick into gear pretty soon.
Yeah, it's always the organisation can be a bit of a headache with these things, but it's so much fun when you get into the race, makes it all worth it. We had some headaches behind the scenes getting this one kicked off this morning, but now that we're into it, it's great to just sit back and enjoy the racing.
Yeah, definitely these days are the best. Bunch of teammates getting together and having fun, and yeah, it's brilliant. The lead up is pretty amazing too, you know, everybody's jumping in practice sessions and yeah, sharing info. It's good fun.
Well, our main motivation behind our enduros is getting together with your mates, basically. This year, I'm going to allow people to race on one sim. So if 5 mates want to go round to one person's house, they can. Get on the beers, have a good time. I reckon that would be a good idea. That's for it. We want as many people involved as we can. So that's one way we're thinking about doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'll be
Yeah.
a really fun way of doing it, getting everybody together and jumping in and out of the sim, doing proper driver changes.
Yeah, with possibly a Le Mans style start.
Yeah.
All ideas at this stage anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But
How
if
far are we
nobody...
in?
What's that, sorry?
How far are we in?
Well, we're on lap 22 now, so I was just going to say, very important milestone in the race. We've completed 21 laps, so all these guys that are in the car now have done the minimum laps that they have to do for their team to be classified. So at this point, if they wanted to run it that way, all these guys could dive into the pits and call it a day and let their teammate take it home. But of course, it's still a long way to ask one driver to do all those laps from here, so I would imagine we're going to see a bit more detailed strategy play out than that, but these guys will be happy to know if they are struggling or have any kind of fatigue or injury going on, that they potentially could hand over to their teammate now and be good to go.
Groceries or whatever. I think one enduro, my teammate Sean had a few too many beers and didn't come back, so let's keep it going. But
That's unlike Sean, isn't it?
that was at Detroit, but yeah, that was a good run.
Hey, so nobody's bothered to figure out my trivia question. So there's actually
Oh.
two Kiwis, and so we've got Jim Richards and Greg Murphy both with two wins at Sandown.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Jim.
bit of a moment there. Like Jack Mara going around. So that data's just moved on me. Try that again. So Jack Mara looks like one of the skeleton cars attempting to pass there, and a bit of contact, and yeah, a bit of tangle off the back of that as well, unfortunately.
Pretty suave looking race car driver there too, Jack Ma.
Yeah.
Don't know what the camera to do to that haircut, but oh well. Need a fair amount of gel to get that up. Anyway, back to racing.
Yes, a bit of a battle pack here. Luke Dilworth just leading that in 8th at the moment, down for 8th with a couple of guys behind him, Zach Blanco and Ben Stewart putting the pressure on him, and Ty Delaney not too far behind as well. Should these guys come together?
Alright, I'm gonna go check in with my teammate, guys. Have fun and
Yeah, cheers,
Good
Wayne.
luck in your stint, Wade.
jump in before my stint and check these up.
Well, we've got another little bit of history here. So just two cars in the last 30 endurance races at Sandown have gone on to win the race from pole position.
Wow.
Yeah, so Craig Lowndes and Greg Murphy and Jamie Wincup. So that was in 1996 and 2014 respectively.
Yeah, so
That's a good stat.
Yeah, that's a very good stat. Goes to show that qualifying isn't everything. You know, it's endurance racing for a reason. It's not just about being the fastest car and putting in the fastest qualifying lap. And you know, it's never a guarantee in any race that you're going to win the race, but especially in endurance racing, you got to put together your performance across the whole day, and that's the challenge for these guys, to be able to put 161 clean laps together and hopefully be in contention at the end.
Yeah, I've always been pretty big on strategy, and I'm betting that any professional race driver racing in this event will be strategy, and the fact that they're already pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure, especially Shane out there putting down the lap times. 17.11, his best lap time, and his last lap was a 17.19, so showing very good consistent pace at the moment, I think. That's the key, because in terms of fast lap, Blake Warburg's in second. He's actually done a faster lap than what Shane's managed at 17.09, but his pace has dropped off to a 17.63. Still not that far off his best, but the fact that Shane is within a tenth of what his best lap was, that's why he's been able to open up that gap, just keeping it consistent, keeping the tyres under and performing, and just being able to give him that pace to open a nice gap.
Have we had any cars pit yet? That's something worth having a look.
We have had Ridley Turner and Peter Vandenberg come to the pits, so we saw Peter involved in that drama on lap 1. He actually came around again and waited till lap 2 to pit, so maybe thought he was going to try and see it out. Obviously it was quite late in the lap that we had that incident, and yeah, tried to come around again and it wasn't quite there for him, so he's brought it back into the pits, and Ridley putting on at 10, so he may have been involved in a drama there as well, unless potentially he could be trying to work backwards from the critical lap, but I don't think he had got far enough to be within that window. And Andrew Upton looks like he's had a fair bit of troubles. He's been into the pits 4 times, most recently on lap 20, and he's still out there doing it though, so good to see Andrew out there. And Andrew teamed up with a family member, Jason Upton. Not entirely sure what their relationship is there, so not sure whether they're father and son or brothers. So
I think they might be father and son. I might have seen on one of the Passion Motorsport posts earlier this week.
okay, yeah, so that's really cool. We have another father and son combination who normally runs with us at SuperCars NZ, and Daniel and Andrew Johnson. Unfortunately, they weren't available to enter the race today. As got a car off the track. Looks like one of them. So let's jump to Jack Blink over there, but yeah, it's Luke that's had the moment in front, going off at Dandenong Road, and Zach able to come through. So another look at that, watching Luke climbing over that curb, and yeah, just a bit of rear locking on the run down to Dandenong Road, and not quite able to get it pulled up, and made his way into the tyres as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, after having a 2-year gap in doing any sim racing, did a few laps around here the other day, and that corner caught me out more than a few times.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot. As Andrew Upton's just found the tyres on turn 3 there, so looked like he just fired it a bit hard over that curve and shot off to the tyres on the right. So a few struggles for Andrew out there, but like I said, still out there doing it even after being in the pits 4 times, and that's why we gave the guys unlimited fast repairs in the hope that they're going to stick around and just keep fixing that car and keep doing laps even if they're not having the best of luck out there. And you can see Andrew's super committed and still sticking with it, still out there doing it.
Yep, that takes a lot of courage. When you're getting swamped by a heap of cars, you're just going to try and hold it together so that they can get around you safely.
Yeah, that's right. He's done a pretty good job there as he had a number of cars lapping him as he looked to get back into his rhythm after that little mistake. So good work to make sure all the guys were able to get around him cleanly there. This seems to be the battle that iRacing wants us to look on though. Every time I click on exciting, it seems to want us to watch this. So as it's actually just jumped out to Cole Taylor in 18th there in his own battle. Brandon Gross just sitting behind him, having the pressure on. Broadbeat Juice Racing in the Castrol livery there.
And we've got Sean back.
Have. And I didn't know Nick and Cole were racing the K&M Bridgestone, which is a sort of a retro round. It's one from at least a couple of years ago that we used to race. It's cool. It's cool seeing that.
It's actually the paint I did in 2020 for it.
It's cool, man. I like it. Got
Yeah,
actually Speedy
I love
Loom
it.
business. Speedy Loom on the bonnet is the business, was the Bridgestone business I was working for back then. Yeah, no, I thought that was one of our better paints.
Yes, it's definitely where are they having around at the moment? 18th.
Yeah, sitting in 18th. Nice tight battle down there as well. Was a couple of the Juice cars getting together. So those two cars are behind, different liveries on them, but they are actually teammates. Both, you can spot the Juice riding up the side of both of those cars.
I think the car up in front of Cole there, Craig Mason, that is a good looking little retro throwback there too. Simblacks instead of super cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of people go into a little bit of effort for these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some very impressive ones, mate.
Now my question on that livery, it's obviously, was it Chaz Mostert, Tickford's 74 livery?
That's what it looks like to me.
Is that too recent to qualify as retro?
I think it's just full different paint. I think we can give it to anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was on a Falcon, and that's pretty retro these days.
Yeah. For us, once we took over this event, it was never actually officially a retro round for us, but we encouraged the guys to run retro paints if they wanted to, and the prize is best livery, so whoever it is that we determine has the best livery out there, that's who's going to get the prize, so they don't necessarily have to be in a paint that actually qualifies as retro as such.
And I just wanted to say this, and there's more. So do you know what they actually win? So what I've just learned is Simblacks is going to give them, because there's 2 drivers to a team, so they're going to give them a iRacing dollars up to the value of the track, or a car each. So basically $15 iRacing credits each.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's one of the first ones that Simblacks and Stefan came up with. So I said, mate, that's what I want to do. So I think if we give them iRacing dollars, which is basically American dollars, isn't it? So that goes into them hopefully find a track that we haven't done next season in the league, and it's easier for them to come back and have a bit more fun.
It's all part of the life of being a shareholder of iRacing, isn't it? Thank you very much, iRacing.
Cole had it all locked up there.
Oh, well done for missing him, and I think he's going to lose a spot for it too.
Yeah, maybe a couple even. Yeah.
It's one small mistake, and hey, no cars were damaged in the making of that corner.
That's right, so he's done well to keep it off the wall, dropped a couple of spots, but I know I would rather have a straight car and lose a couple of spots.
Oh, sorry. That is the worst corner to pass on. I hate it, I really do.
Well, if you can get a nose up at the start of it, then
You're
you've got the right
entitled to
away
it.
for the next corner.
Yeah, you're entitled to it, but a lot of things have to go right.
Yeah, you end up over on the horse track. That's what it is.
Yeah, or in the back of the ute, like wasn't it 86 years ago?
Oh,
Or
yes,
86.
yeah.
I still think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. The 2 guys in the ute pop out there. What just happened? Dangerous, but what just happened?
Yeah, well, the great thing was nobody was seriously hurt in that incident. As Coles had a moment off the curb that you said, didn't you, Sean? Stay away from that curb.
Yep, 100%. If you do, you just run over it.
Going round it.
You run over it and go on the other side. Take a couple of chances, that you're going to lose to get yourself back together before you get over the gas. But again, he didn't technically lose too much, didn't damage the car, it's still pretty clean.
Yeah, kept it off the wall, ran through the grass there, and would have taken a slow down for turning turns 2 and 3 there, but like you say, back on track, still a straight car, and that's what's important there.
Yes, I have seen, obviously, I have had some drivers complaining, people taking slowdowns on the racing line, which, hey, we don't have race control. It's a bit stink that's happened, but we always encourage people to take these slowdowns off the racing line.
So we've got less than 20 cars on the lead lap.
Let's not point out everyone's failures, please.
No, that's the beauty of a short racetrack. Like, you can't avoid that.
What I saw, and I'm impressed, because obviously I know my place, the calibre of this field is absolutely amazing. There was 14 cars in the 106s in qualifying. And that was really impressive. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was almost 20 cars within a second and a half.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, very, very good. You're not wrong about the impressiveness of the field.
If it had 2 Shaw McMahons, it would have been extra impressive. Just go to the next one.
There is another one, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a good looking one and there's a fast one, Is he up there? I'm sorry that he's so fast.
You guys have actually crossed paths too, haven't you?
Yep, only pass, nothing else.
A bit of history.
Don't giggle like you're in the, you're trying to hide the giggle. Laugh about that.
Yeah, you can tell he was covering his face. So.
Yeah. It's like, Alright, back to the racing.
Yeah, so starting to close in on that first pit stop window now. So what's the strategy for you guys, Sean? You're going to be hopping in the car shortly, or Leon going to do another stint?
No, I'll jump the car because the driver swap doesn't change anything these days, does it anymore? So it doesn't take up more time, or not?
No, I believe you're correct. The fuel should cover the driver change, certainly on a full pit stop. So yeah, you don't lose time changing drivers. I think for me, the advantage of keeping a driver in at the pit stop is just the fact that if he's in a good rhythm and he's still feeling fresh enough to go again, then it keeps that rhythm going, and it, you know, you're not dealing with another driver getting up to speed, but obviously you've got to balance that with fatigue. And, yeah, that was hooper tight there.
100%. I think sometimes I think of the other side, the freshness of no, and what it is have we talked about the yellows? Because obviously we talked about the yellow, all the yellows.
We have talked about the minimum one random yellow, and I know how many there will be, and I know when they will fall.
Yeah. So and that's great because I'm an admin and I'm racing and I don't know. That's right. So I thought I'd bring that up as because we were thinking we wanted to actually have our driver change for our driver share done before the yellow. Because we think if you pit under yellow and put another driver in, that's a lot of track position. So we were thinking to try and get that done on green, not worrying about the yellow. So the yellow
it's not helping.
Yeah. So because the yellow, we're hoping for a splash and dash, so we don't want to be doing the driver stuff to take that more time. So,
But that's nice, sure.
Yeah. Oh, someone's pitting in. I just heard that.
Yeah, Harry Dodds in pit lane. So it looks like firstly our scheduled stoppers. We've had a few guys come in for damage. Scott Travis actually put it on lap 27 as well, so that could have been an early scheduled stop for those guys. I think that might be in the window.
Is that Tanaka as well? Yep.
Yes. And looks like a driver change going on there. David Ash jumping in the car. And
that is a great picture.
That is a great picture, isn't it?
That is excellent. David Nash.
Is that David Nash though? Is that actually him?
If it is, it doesn't matter. That's his picture. So for now, that's it. And that is great.
Oh, we should have a best picture too. All right. Since I like him with
you want to give away a best picture?
Yeah, mate. There we go. So, do we leave that up to who can vote on that?
What about YouTube?
Yep. Okay.
In the chat, get on there if you see somebody's picture, and it is great as David Nash's.
Yeah, on the stream. So I think Bill's is up there too. I do like Bill's. So David's Bill's. That is a great mullet, isn't it?
There he is.
So Douglas Bickley has put in his vote for best livery.
Oh yes.
Could be a little bit controversial.
Ooh. Who is it?
I'm going to find him now.
Voting for his friends.
What are you laughing at?
Well, he's not voting for his friends. That's the controversial bit. He's got some mates that are in almost an identical livery to this one, and he's voted for Hamish and Harry.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's it. I'm out of here.
I think you might find that.
I'm joking. We're not even friends anyway. Now we're not. I'll tell you what. There's an unfriend coming up on Facebook.
I'm sure Doug's going to let us know.
All right, I'm going to go down and talk to my teammates. I think he just got left. And we'll talk soon, guys.
Yeah, you go give him some Dutch courage, mate.
Yeah, too true. Thank you.
Getting pretty tight there. Bit of flashing going on from the Skeleton Simblacks car there.
A wee bit of a bunch of cars here and there.
Yeah, it is, and that's, I think the great thing about doing an endurance race on a track as short as this is you're always going to have someone around you racing, and might not necessarily be racing for position, but even if you're lapping them, it gives you something to think about rather than just sitting there and putting down lap times. You've got to think about negotiating the other cars as well as trying to hit your marks and race cleanly. So
Got another couple of cars in pit lane, I believe.
yeah, I saw someone firing in there. Scott McKenzie.
What was the
showing us
critical
a-
lap?
So
What was your pit window?
the range for a tank is 43 laps. So they're only a couple of laps away from, by my calculations, needing to come in and fuel up. So I think we're going to see a lot of guys dive into pits. It's still, at the moment, soon will be the top 22 guys yet to pit, as Steve Bradford's just making his way down the lane. Everybody ahead of him yet to pit, and a couple of guys that are going to make their way by that have stayed out at this stage as well. So yeah, looks like 22 guys at the moment yet to take a pit stop. So in the next couple of laps we're going to see pit lane get very busy.
We're going to see who's got the best fuel economy as well. There's always someone that gets that extra lap.
Yeah, 100%.
What would be your favourite livery you've seen today, Shane?
Oh, there's a lot of great ones out there. There's a lot of really great ones out there.
I'm finding it hard to pick just one.
Yeah, so am I. For me, I think I need to see how the race pans out and see a few more liveries and get a better look at some of them. And yeah, I don't think I'm ready to make a decision yet. Scotty Pickering coming on the chat as well. Show us some more liveries, scroll through the whole field. Fair point, Scotty. At this stage, we're just coming into that pit window, so we've got that to focus on. So we will probably look at scrolling through some liveries during the second stint. And we're on lap 43 now, so by my calculations, this will be the last lap that anybody can get to on their field. So I think we're going to see a number of guys dive into the end of this lap. We'll see if anybody's been able to stretch that extra lap out.
Going to get pretty busy pretty quick.
Yeah, there's
Of
about
course,
three more laps of fuel and I'm in.
Yeah, I was about to say, worth noting that not everybody is on the lead lap, so some guys may not be at that lap 43 yet, but certainly Shane Van Gisbergen here coming over the hill and down towards Sandown Road. He's stretched out nearly 11 seconds out in front, and we may see him come to the pits, or he may have taken the advantage of having some clear air to do a little bit of saving and stretch it out. So we'll see what he does when he comes through one corner here. Is he going to go right? No, he goes left. He carries on for one more.
Left is hanging.
He did.
Alright guys, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to take over from Bill soon and yeah, watch a bit of carnage.
Cheers, Wayne. Good luck with your stint.
Alright,
We've got cars coming in now, so we've got Corey Savage getting into the skeleton sim sport car.
Yeah, so Corey waiting for that fuel to go in there. Jeremy Maxwell also in the pits further back in the lane. Scott Gamble there out of P5 is in
What the hell was that?
pit box now. And David Coleman just behind him doing a driver change as Blake Delaney jumps into that car. So Richie Stanaway has moved up to second for now by virtue of not having made his pit stop. And I think Shane Van Gisbergen even carrying on for another lap, and he's getting great economy out of this car.
He is, yeah, no, that is some
Oh,
impressive
bit of a
fuel
tangle there. I think that was Scott McKenzie, the lap car that he was trying to squeeze his way past. I think. Don't know that Scott could have got much further over to the right than he did, to be fair.
but you never know what the car behind is going to do.
Yeah, 100%. I know, at the end of the day, it was a bit of a tangle, a bit of contact, but both guys kept it on track and pointed in the right direction, so Not too much drama there. Ryan Wood has dropped into the 472 car, taken over from Richie Stanaway, so he's sitting in the lane now, dropping back into 4th position so far. I think that will probably be where he's going to come out. Luke Dilworth's actually just come out ahead of him as well. So Luke slotting into 4th position.
Yeah, Shane's just come in the pits now.
So race leader finally stretching out 45 laps from that tag. Just started at 46 in the pit lane and see that car disappear. That's a sure sign that they're doing a driver swap. Shane's out, Brad Newman jumps in, so he's got a fairly fortunate position where he's jumping into that car with what was a fairly solid lead, and we'll see shortly that he should emerge out onto track with a good margin there, so he'll be able to just focus on settling into that rhythm and setting some good lap times. Still sitting up on the jacks there just behind the safety car. A few lap cars making their way out down the lane. And he drops off the jacks now and he's underway and heading back out onto the track. Still leading the race. A few cars behind have all pitted as well, and we're going to see that water cycle through now. Everybody looks like has either been to the pits or currently in the pits.
Be looking for Ryan Wood to work his way up, I reckon now. He's pretty quick at a sim, young man.
Yeah, for sure, as Brad emerges with that nearly 11-second lead that Shane had before the pit stop sequence, so nice comfortable margin for him to deal with. And yeah, as you say, Ryan Wood out there currently P4, but he will be very quick and looking to make up some positions. He's got David Kirby just over half a second up the road from him. So that could be a very interesting battle that we see down out shortly.
A 10-second gap when you've been handed the car, pretty great.
Yeah, 100%. Josh Drake, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. But Josh out there P5 in car number 5 as well. It's a WK&P Sim Sports Super Duke Auto livery there.
That livery's a little bit different to the other one we see.
Yeah, it is. You can see Blake Greenhall, that car just jumping out of the way there. Blake's taken over from Cole in that car, and the Property Edge Mustang there. Very beautiful livery that Scott Pickering put together probably at least a year ago, I think, for Blake, and Blake's been continuing to run that based on the Cool Drive Mustang from SuperCars.
Right, yeah, no, that's a cool livery.
Yeah. Blake Delaney not too far behind Josh there in P6, so looking current lap pace about 7/10 quicker than Josh at the moment as well, so he'll be looking to close that gap in. And the Castrol Commodore there, Fishy Motorsports.
So we've already got Ryan Wood, he's moved up another spot, up into 3rd now.
So hopefully I can find some data on that one. So this should be that pass. Ryan Wood in behind David Kirby. And David's just run wide at turn 1. Goes over the back of that curve, as Sean said, if you find yourself going to hit that curve, just run wide over the back of it and get a nice straight re-entry. And it was the opportunity that Ryan needed to find his way past nice and cleanly, so not having to do too much work for that one.
You don't get a slow down if you go too far over there.
Yeah, no, I believe if you cut turn 2, you will get a slowdown, but yeah, I believe if you just go off the back of that curb, you'll pick up an off track, but then you'll be able to just rejoin after that without picking up a slowdown. On the note of off tracks though, while we've got unlimited fast repairs, we did want to make sure there was something in place to keep some sort of high standard of driving out there, so we did put a incident point limit of 50 in place for this race. So if those guys exceed that limit, they will pick up a drive-through penalty, and that will be for every 50 incident points they pick up, there will be a drive-through penalty there.
Yep, that's always a good one to have, just to keep everybody grounded against them.
Yeah, for sure, it can be easy to look at it when you know you've got unlimited incident points and just go, well, that means I can drive as hard as I like, it doesn't matter, but of course that's not what we want to see out there, so making sure we've got something there to keep the guys nicely under control. Ronald Nixon sitting in P7 for Vermilion Motorsports. Bumping over that curb cam there. Berlin Motor Group on the side of that Commodore. I don't believe that's a retro paint for that.
Very Kiwi style, sort of black with the white or silver.
Yeah, interesting. Aussie driver, Aussie team running a Kiwi style livery, but great to see. And actually you can see Connor's photo there, a previous iteration of their livery with a bit more red on there in the place where we're seeing silver on this car. So looks like same basic scheme with just a couple of little colour tweaks there.
Make sure you let us know in the comments on YouTube if you see any pictures beside people's names. Backer wants to give away a prize, so let us know if you see a good picture that is as glorious as David Nash's or as great as Bill Kugler's. For me, I'd be voting for David Nash. That mullet is the most glorious thing I've seen today.
It is very impressive, isn't it? Ben Stewart sitting in his own little world there in P8 at the moment, so he'll be happy to be able to get some nice clean laps in. Absolutely no traffic around him. Just focus on hitting those braking points, hitting those apexes, and get some good lap times in. That was
like you said a little bit earlier, getting a little bit of consistency in your laps and just chipping away at your laps is probably the best thing to do in Enduro racing.
Yeah, for sure. And this was a livery that was shouted out earlier in the stream, the Hell Pizza livery, so...
They giving away any pizza? They will give you vote. Bribe me with pizza.
Yeah, 100%. If you want our vote, make it worth our while. Zach Blinko in P9 there running with a Simblacks car just in front of them. I believe that's going to be a lapped car. Stefan Adams there in 25.
It's Mr. Simblacks, so yeah, thank you very much, Stefan, for backing this event today. And he's out there lapping it. Doesn't matter if you're at the front, you're in the mid-pack, or at the back, you have a bump. And yeah, thanks to Simblacks for jumping on and helping make this event possible.
Yeah, 100%, and not a retro livery for him, but I've loved that livery ever since he debuted it, I believe at the start of this season in SuperCars NZ, and yeah, they had run the same Simblacks livery for quite a long time, and while that was a very good livery, it's always good to have a refresh and come up with something new, and I think they've delivered perfectly on that with this one.
I tell you, an interesting livery is Shane Van Gisbergen's livery there. I think it's the same on Richie Stanaway and Ryan Wood's car as well. The old Falcon is bolted the tyre.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen him run a bit of a variation on this one in the past, as we've got the safety car coming out onto track now. Yellow flag is out.
Is that a picture of Richie Stanaway on the side?
Pass.
I think it is.
And yeah, so this is the Ryan Wood Richie Stanaway car behind the Super Tube car here. So yeah, that same livery there that Shane and Brad are running.
Yeah, it's a picture of Richie Stanaway on the side of it. That is brilliant.
That's very cool.
So this safety car will bump up the order a little bit, bump them all a bit closer together.
Yeah, well, there's going to be some lapped cars in amongst it as well, so it'll close everybody up. May not necessarily be right behind the guy that they're fighting for position if lapped cars are involved, because I don't believe we have the capacity to do wave arounds without me bringing up a whole lot of clutter on the stream that's just going to look ugly. So I believe we're going to be leaving everybody in their rightful positions as they were when the yellow was called, so those lapped cars will maintain their position. What they do have the ability to do is the lead lap cars all come into the pits, the lap cars can stay out and get waved around the pace car on
Checking
the
up
1 to
back
green
straight,
point,
checking up back straight.
as they all close up behind the safety car on the back straight. So I
But
believe
the field's closed up fairly fast.
yeah, I believe when they come around this time, the pit lane will open, so we will potentially see a number of guys come into the pits. Only within 10 laps that some of these guys have already pitted, but it's an opportunity. While you may lose a fair amount of track position, you're not going to lose a lot of time because you're going to be able to bunch up to the back of the pack again. So not a bad opportunity to be able to get in, get a bit more fuel on and stretch out that next stop. As Sean said, you probably won't be looking to do a driver change at this point if you do come in. With the splash and dash that you're going to be looking at, it's more likely going to be just that splash and dash, get the fuel in, maybe chuck some fresh tyres on the car if you're looking for a bit of extra pace, but certainly I think the time to change drivers is going to be adding a fair bit to the stop time if guys look to do that. And Ryan Wood just faking the pit entry there but staying out. David Nash has come to the lane ahead of Scott Travis coming in as well. Sean McNamara talked about potentially doing a splash under safety car, but he's chosen to stay out there as Blake.
There we go. There's another great picture of Sean McNamara. I believe it's a picture of Nick and Sean.
Yeah, must be, yeah. Well, might be Wayne and Sean because it refers to commentators. Then obviously Wayne and Sean commentate on the GT3 stream there, so cameras, the picture's just covering the end of that little message there, but it says commentators are like bird reviewers, so
Well,
I believe that's referring to Wayne and Sean. So it looks like we might have seen a couple of driver changes as well there. Thomas Freeman in the number 6 car there, and Jeremy Maxwell in the number 79. Emerging in 10th and 11th respectively, so not a huge number of guys taking up the opportunity to pit there. Blake Greenhill did also come in, stayed in the car and just took a splash of fuel, maybe some tyres. And looks like Scott Travis also taking that opportunity to get in. But lights are out on the safety car, so they're going to be going green this time around as they come down the back straight here.
Suspense.
Yes, you can see there Shane just sitting in behind the safety car. Once that peels off, he's going to have control. When the green flag flies is when cars can start passing. So no rule about having to get to the control line like we would see in the real supercars. As soon as that green flag flies, they're good to go. So if Shane hasn't already put the foot down by that point, that's going to be the latest point he'll want to do it. We know he likes a late restart. We saw that at Pukekohe last year in one of the races there.
It'd be Brad in the car at the moment.
Of course it is Brad in the car at the moment, sorry. And the safety car P was off. Brad's going to have control, and he's gone nice and early. And you can see the flag man holding out the green flag there as they all come down the front straight.
Good to see some of those lap cars get out of the way as well.
Yeah, 100%. Down into turn 1 now. And looks like a nice tame restart for the most part. Looked like maybe a couple of cars going off at turn 1 in the background. The leaders getting onto the back straight nice and clean.
So that fully floored paint's different to the normal one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a good camera angle, isn't it?
By the time all those guys are cycling through turn 7, we'll see the leaders back down off the front straight. Yeah, that fully floored car, which Daniel Hedderscheid here running in that, might be just an updated livery for them, I could be wrong. But yeah, certainly different to what we used to see from them. Daniel's running in P13 at the moment, so very strong and a very competitive field there. Only the top 11 now on the lead lap though, so that safety car there will be a bit of a blessing for Jeremy Maxwell, who's running in P11, although doing a fair bit of traffic at the moment. It's allowed him to get bunched back up to the leaders and have a bit of a gap, fairly big gap to the next car behind him for position now, and a good gap to be able to look to stay on the lead lap a bit longer as well.
Oh, we got a car off there, and yeah, I'll be back in June.
Look like that one around off there, so got some commander on there, but go back and have a look at. Brendan coming down towards Sandown Road on the brakes. Oh, took a bit of a hit behind from Sean McNamara, so taking the Macatap there, Brendan Browning, and going into the fence, unfortunately. Certainly no malice in that, just a little bit of extra closing speed for Sean under brakes and just getting into the back of Brendan and unsettling him a bit, unfortunately. So not ideal, but it looks like he's managed to avoid that too much damage and carry on. After the safety car, the lap car got out of the way, and looks like Clonmap's in there. Ben Drake not far behind, and then Ben Stewart putting the pressure on him as well. So super tight battle. Stay with us a little bit to see how it pans out. I believe that's a lap car ahead of Clonmap's. Yeah, so that's Sean McNamara just getting out of the way. well, he's actually going to hold his line down into the run over the hill there, but cuts across to get out of the way. He'll pick up a slowdown with that as well, so he will have to do his best to serve that without holding these guys up too much. Certainly have to look at it though. Looks like Conor Nixon's just been able to take advantage of Sean McNamara getting involved there and open up a little bit of a gap. Still not super comfortable over Josh there though. And then Ben Stewart and Zach Blinko just in behind there. Thomas Freeman running at the end of the tail end of the top 10 there. In the Make It Fishy livery there, Fishy Motorsports. So obviously inspired by the Super Auto Wildcard livery from last year, and we'll be seeing very similar livery to that on the Camaro this year at the mountain. That was obviously Make It Super, this is Make It Fishy.
That smells funny. The Fishy Motorsport boys, they're a good bunch to race with. I met a lot of them through another league, and they were always good fun. I believe one of them's given me a bit of a push over the line after running out of fuel before.
Oh, that's always very good sort of sportsmanship that I like to see.
Actually, I think he's racing Blake Delaney. I think it was him.
Oh yes, a Blake up in P5 at the moment there. Castrol inspired livery there for Fishy Motorsports.
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favourite ones. I believe that's a Larry Perkins paint.
Yeah, that's a nice little one going on there, isn't it? Even managed to match up the number that they've selected to the car to the one that they've put on the side of the paint there as well, with 08 and the number down there on the side of the car, so always good to be able to get that little continuity going.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Jeremy Maxwell amongst a lot of cars around the here. Looks like most of the lap cars all around him there, so doing his best to navigate that and try and find some clear space on track as he's just moving past the Mustang there. So clears some of that lap traffic, and Simblacks car just up the road as well, or the Simblacks car across the windshield with the STP livery on the car there.
So don't forget in the comments if you're watching, thanks for coming along and watching today, this Simblacks Sandown 500 versus SuperCars NZ. But make sure you get your comment in and let us know what paint you like. And also if you see any drivers' profile pictures that you think are pretty classy, let us know that as well. And those drivers and teams will be winning a prize thanks to Simblacks.
Yeah, for sure. We've also got a prize going for the least incident points as well. So obviously we talked about the guys having an incident point limit sitting at 50 before they'll receive a drive-through penalty for that. But another incentive for them to try and keep it as clean as possible is there will be a prize to whoever manages to achieve the least incident points, and I believe that is the same prize that will be given out for best livery, so it will be iRacing credits to the value of a car or a track.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, keep it clean. How are we going with incident points at the moment? Can you able to check that data?
I believe through OBS I can bring up off tracks, but I think probably the more accurate reading will be what you'll be able to get if you can bring up your entries and see incident
Yeah,
points.
mine's just showing nothing.
Ah, okay. doesn't necessarily give an exactly accurate picture of instant points, but it can give us an idea for sure.
Doug's not here, just so you know, Dave. That'll be the odd Sean coming in or Wayne. But yeah, Doug's away today.
Yeah, potentially Doug might be able to drop in briefly at some point during the stream, but yeah, unfortunately he was very heavily booked with family stuff today, so I wasn't able to commit to doing the stream with us. So as far as off-tracks go, most guys are still in single digits. Jason Upton, though, down in 34th, is up to 17 off-tracks at this stage. Like I say, there could be more incident points than that attributed to contact or loss of control as well, so it's not necessarily an accurate picture of where the incident points are at. So his goals having a bit of a moment, so what's going on here? So just get out of the way. Oh, the skeleton car locking rears
saved that.
past. Did a great job to gather that up.
Oh, that was brilliant.
But
Good save.
For whatever reason, Nico Scholes there just pulling off track, moves a little
Quick
bit
change of
again and
undies.
then toes to pits. So not entirely sure what happened there, and unfortunately no data coming up for the other car that had that big moment there, so not able to point the pictures to what went on there, but looks very, very interesting and a good save there for whoever it was. Which I wonder, there's some data on Corey passing. Not sure, I think that was just through Nico being hits. Juiced Castrol car here, just getting out of the way down the front straight. Willie McLean sitting in P12. He's a name that came into the league for SuperCars NZ, I believe, either at the start of this year or may have been the last season of last year. Certainly was the first season where we ran, well, the first season in a wee while where we ran 2 splits to our championship, and Willie was one of a couple of guys that dominated that second split that season and became very clear very quickly that he was a top split driver. So the fact that he's sitting in 12th position shows, and a lap down, shows the absolute calibre of this field that we've got going on at the moment. With a guy that we know, Willie's a great driver, and he looks like he's had a pretty clean race so far. Just one off track showing against his name, and his car looking nice and clean, and he's sitting down in 12th position and 1 lap off the pace. So he'll be hoping he can maybe get that lap back later in the race through pit strategies and safety cars, but at the moment he is the first car a lap down and still going fairly well. Still very, very credible performance to be sitting at P12 in this field.
There's a lot of new names compared to when I was more involved back at the start of 2021. It's good to see, you know, how much you guys have grown, you know, from just V8s to GT3 and now TCR and Steve's fun stuff on Sundays. Yeah, it's really cool to see the group growing, you know, week by week, you would say. You know, there's new members joining.
Yeah, 100%. We've always got new members coming on board. I think we'll put a lot of work into the streaming side of things and getting that onto YouTube, and I think being able to use Facebook to spread the word and get the streams out there, and then having a good quality stream on Facebook, I think has been really key to getting our name out there. And I think we've seen a number of guys come on board through that, and yeah, tons of guys in our community, tons of members in our community, and constantly every season we're getting new guys signing up to the point where we have had to run a couple of splits this season just gone, as well as a couple of seasons previously in recent times. Undecided at this stage what next season's going to look at in that regard. You sort of have to wait for the entries to roll in to make a decision on that. So potentially could be a couple of splits again, but we've certainly seen the typical dropping off in numbers as the season goes on, and especially some of the top split races where the fast guys have other commitments, other things that they need to go and do. You know, you've got your Shane Mendes that have to go off and do real world racing. You've got a number of guys that are very committed to their sim racing, and there's always a lot of other series that attract those sort of guys, and they go off and do other things. So we've seen a couple of those top split races where the numbers have been dwindling a little bit, still enough to put on some really good racing and a good show on the stream for the guys at home to watch, but certainly looking at potentially rethinking the way we do that next season. But as I say, we have to wait and see what the numbers are when the registrations all roll in for that.
Yeah, it could almost be worth going back to the original tournament structure that used to be run, where you have your qualifying session and then that's where you get put into your splits to race. But that could mean that the second split would have 10 drivers one day, and that's not always fun. But I'm sure you guys will, that are sitting around the round table, will have that all worked out for a shiny new season coming up.
Yeah, we've had some discussions and certainly have looked at almost essentially a pre-qualifying, but qualifying on the night, so similar to what you've described, where it may be based on practice times as opposed to necessarily qualifying, but you would come up with whatever the field size you're looking at for your top split. The guys who make that cut would be in the top split, and then the rest would drop into another session and race for the second split honours. That obviously gives you that flexibility that if you do have a lower turnout on a certain night, you might end up just running a single split for that one.
Yeah, no, that was what we used to do right at the start. But yeah, when COVID first hit, that's when, you know, it was almost going to be 3 splits at the stage.
Yeah, for sure, the good old COVID boom.
Well, we're not too far off halfway. It's coming up soon.
Yeah, so we're sitting at lap 71 out of 161, so getting through the laps.
Oh, we've got Ryan Wood now, second place, and he's less than half a second behind Brad Newman.
Yeah, so Ryan's showing great pace out there, being able to not only move through the field, but close up that gap to Brad and putting massive pressure on as well. So teammates or same liveried cars fighting it out here. So how much does Ryan want to lead at this point? Is he going to force the issue, or does he think, I've done the work to close the gap? Of course, he knows at some point Shane's going to get back in the car in front of him, and Ryan's going to have to hand back to Richie as well. And it looks like Ryan a fair bit faster, or a little bit faster anyway, than what Richie was putting down to, well, obviously be able to close down the gap that had opened up, and Shane might be a fair bit faster than Brad as well for that to transpire the way it has. So potentially the game for Ryan could be get past Brad as quickly as you can, and then try and open up a gap to make sure that Shane's going to have to do some moves when he does get back in that car.
Yeah, I would be trying to get a gap and get Richie back in the car, because I bet Richie and Shane, they'd be super competitive, you know, being teammates this year for the Enduros. This would be a good little hit out for them. There we go, the move by Ryan down the inside. Brad's kept in it.
He's been able to keep alongside. He's going to have the inside for this next corner, but if Ryan can stay there, that'll give him the inside for the final corner. And feeding him a bit of that curve there. Brad's still got a little bit of an overlap, but I think, well, they're coming out onto the front straight, and Ryan just able to move across and get clear, but Brad looking to fire it back down the inside at turn 1. He gets down there. Does he keep it on the track? he does keep it on the track. Ryan had to go off the track just to avoid contact there, but he's able to keep the overlap down into turn 2 and through 3 and 4. They're still side by side. They're going to be side by side all the way down the back straight. This could get spicy up the end of the straight as they come over the hill. Very much a single line corner that we're approaching now, so who's going to back out?
Who's going to brake first?
Yeah, it's going to be Ryan sweeping across the front to take the lead, and potentially job done if he can get through the next section of corners nice and cleanly to create enough of a gap. But Brad, if he can stay close, he's going to be able to get the slipstream down the front straight as well. As there's a big incident just in front. A couple of cars involved with that. We'll stick with this and hopefully bring that data up when we get to it, when we see how this pans out. We don't want to click off this battle at the moment. And looks like Ryan's just been able to open up enough of a gap to be safe there, so see if we can get the data up on what had happened there. I've got Jackson through going off track, so I think this is going to be that incident.
Oh, big bit of curve.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Just
It's a good tank slapper.
Yeah, just dropping it off the back of that curb and taking the other car on the way through there. So very unfortunate there, but
Looks like he's wielding a little bit of a better word from that incident.
he carries on though. That's a line on him. Bit of damage on the front left corner. Looks like the steering's lining up pretty straight at the moment, so he might have got lucky on that one and just a bit of cosmetic damage. Just slowing up and letting some later cars past here. Certainly struggling with understeer there. Actually might be slightly right hand down and just trickling down the back straight there. I don't know, it's hard to tell, almost looks like it's moving around a little bit on its own. Certainly damage to the front splitter on that left hand edge though. Anderson running in car 55 there for Simblacks Racing in the Super 240 on squad livery there.
Yeah, so he's the second of the cars that are lapped out. So they'll be trying to figure out a strategy to get back on the lead lap and get up a little bit closer.
Yeah, and credit has to go to James a little bit as well for this event. He was the one that initially got this off the ground through his NZ V8 group. Unfortunately came to a point where he wasn't able to move forward with it and had to cancel the series. And there were a number of guys that were quite excited about doing these races who were disappointed to see it cancelled. So, and a number of those guys were committed members to our league as well. So at SuperCars NZ we made the call to pick that up after James had to cancel it, and of course we're quite fortunate, in a fortunate position where as an established league running season after season with great sponsors and a number of guys all putting their $15 season entry fees into us, we were in a position where we were able to put it on as a free event, and that's a big part of why we've been able to see a number of big names and huge field come on board to get involved in this event. So obviously big thanks to James for getting the ball rolling on it, and Yeah, Gladwell were able to make sure that the event went ahead after he wasn't able to move forward with it.
Yeah, it's very fortunate you guys were in a position to do that, and it's great to have James along racing here today.
Daniel Hedderside sitting in P14 and fully floored Commodore there.
Yeah, I quite like their paint job. I know it's not a retro paint job. It could be, I don't know, but yeah, I just like the colour combos.
Yeah, it's quite well done, isn't it? The combination of colours going together quite nicely there. So obviously we saw the first round of pit stops happening in the mid 40s in terms of lap count, and we're approaching lap 80 now, so not too far away from potentially seeing the second round, but of course that safety car that was seen during the second stint will play a part as well, and potentially potentially we could see some of the guys stretch that second stint out quite far into the 90s, so it will be interesting to see how that goes.
I think, is Wayne in the car?
Yeah, I think Wayne is currently in the car.
Should we drag him up and see how he's feeling? Get an inside sort of what it's like.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of space around him at the moment, so we could certainly drag him up and have a chat. We'll just wait till he's on the straight. Try not to distract him too much. Make it his way through turn 4 and just jumping out of the way of another car behind him there.
A little bit of front end damage there on the left hand side. Wayno,
How's it?
how are you going, mate? Tell us, give us a bit of a in the car feel of how it is at the moment.
When I first got in, but after that it was, got a bit of a tap, which sort of threw me off and threw the nerves up, and yeah.
Yeah, spotting a bit of damage on the front end there, so we didn't pick that up on the stream, but obviously getting involved in a little bit of drama.
Yeah, it's story of my life. On track, off track, really good.
You're still out there lapping though in P30, so...
Yeah, no, that's good. Was hoping to have a good little battle with Brendan Brownie, but yeah, I lost it in the corner and he's walked away at the moment, so gee, hopefully commentator's curse might help Brendan out and might catch up to him.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I think for the curse to take effect, you've got to praise what he's doing.
Oh yeah, no, he's a brilliant driver. Yeah, excellent.
He's on the data.
In, actually, he's renowned for pulling out of a race, so got a teammate there now. He's obviously obligated to stay in. So
yeah, that's it. You never want to let your teammate down. Well, I find one of the great things about team racing is you tend to see a lot more guys sticking it out because it is about more than just them. They've got a teammate to think about. They don't want to let the team down, and yeah, even if they don't necessarily have a great time, they sort of stick it out so their teammate can at least have a chance to get in there and drive.
Yeah, 100%.
So is she sweaty in the cockpit later?
Sweat of the brow and trying to let these... It's quite an art, is what Bill says. There's quite an art of letting guys by. Mind you, there was no art in that, but I don't know if you guys are watching.
Yeah, I had just clicked back on you there, and you had a bit of a, we'll call it a strategical lock-up to make sure you gave room to the lead lap guys coming through there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Phil's got it down to fine art. I don't race often enough.
You just got to be predictable.
Yeah. Tyres are shot.
Yeah, you. How many laps of fuel you got before you're gonna need a pit stop?
Still about 18, so bit of a way to go.
Well, that'll get you to 100.
Go.
Well, we'll let you get back down there, Wade.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Which is right.
All good.
There you got a bit of insight from the driver's seat there from Wayne Bloor.
He seems like he's handling it okay. He's not stressing out.
Yeah, nice cool head from Wayne, so that's always important.
So we got Scott. Scott is shouting out his two favourites. There's a couple of Marlboro ones, so we'll have to stipulate which one. The Perkins one, I definitely, it's up there for mine as one of the favourites. It was always a favourite of mine way back when.
Yeah, this is one of the Marlboro ones here, Hamish Cleland and car 05. He's got, to be fair, he's got the right number on that livery as well, so I wonder if that's why Doug voted for this one as opposed to Wayne and Bill and very similar liveries. The fact that this one's actually running under 05, so obviously famous Peter Brock's number.
Yeah, that definitely makes the livery stand out a little bit more, having the 05 on it. They're currently sitting in 14th place.
Okay, now this is interesting. We missed this one, but Shane Van Gisbergen pitted on lap 81 for his second stop, so that's why he's down the order in 15th. But we missed him coming to the pits, and so...
Oh, they've had a driver swap, so
yeah,
Brad
swap.
Newman's down.
Yeah, so obviously with Ryan taking that lead over, they had a discussion, decided it was good to get their faster driver back in the car, so Shane's jumped in. It's put them down the order for now with an earlier pit stop, but as we do cycle through the pit stops, which will be coming up in the next 10 laps or so, we will see these guys cycle back to being in their rightful position, and we'll see, you never know, with some fresh tyres on the car and Shane Van Gisbergen behind the wheel, he might be able to put some good quick laps down and get the undercut on Ryan Wood to come out back in the lead, so that will be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Shane just moving past the lap car now, and he's actually got Hamish Cleland, who we were looking at earlier, just ahead of him. That's 4th position at the moment, but of course a little bit jumbled up due to the pit stop sequence. Shane has pitted, Hamish hadn't, and Hamish having a bit of a moment, but looks like he's going to just let Shane pass nice and cleanly, do that down the straight. No need to lose any time finding someone that you know is going to be significantly quicker than you anyway, and at the end of the day, once the pit stops cycle through, you're not racing them on track, so Hamish doing the right thing and just making sure he can keep it clean and keep putting down the clean lap times for what his battle actually is.
So it looks like Brad Newman actually dropped out due to packet loss, so obviously something's happened, and yeah, Shane's had to quickly jump back in the car. It does actually look like Brad has classified, so he's done his allotted lap. So unlucky for them.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. So in that case, that would have required some tow time as well. So probably explains why they're a bit further down the order than we probably would have normally expected based on the normal pit stop as well. So they have also dropped off the lead lap. So that's a big setback for them. So Shane will be definitely looking to get on with things here. At this stage, first goal has to be getting back on the lead lap, because they're not there at the moment. Potentially by the time the pit stops cycle through, they could emerge back on the lead lap, but we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out, and whether that tow may even result in having to do an extra stop. I'm not 100% sure how the window pans out working backwards from the critical lap there, what I can tell you is critical lap will be 118, so as long as they make their final stop after lap 118, they will be good to go to the end.
But that's good knowledge. I'd say Shane, he's got his head down, so he'll be trying to pass a few cars and make up a little bit of time. And yeah, we'll find out closer to the end. So we're over halfway now.
Yeah, for sure, and closing in on that second stop marker. And certainly getting into that window where the middle or the third stint will be a fairly short one if you make your final stop on that critical lap. So I believe they would have been in that window to make it on the original 3 stops. So one more stop from here to get home, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out with regards to hitting that critical lap marker. But certainly getting his head down and making good progress up through the field at the moment, clearing a lap car. Clearing Daniel Heddershide for position there. And William McLaren is going to be the next one that he has eyes on for position. He's a little way up the road, so that's not coming on now. We've seen David Nash in his profile picture there, so I believe we were with him as he came to the pits on the previous stop, so he's chosen to do a double stint here, although they have had 2 stops, so he may have just got him back in at the second stop actually.
Don't forget to let us know who's got the best profile picture. So at the moment, David Nash or Bill Kilgore have got my votes.
Yeah, for me it's between David and Bill as well, so let us know what you think out there. Blake Greenhill running at 16. No profile picture up for him, so he might, next time he's out of the car, might want to quickly get something up there so he can be eligible for that prize.
Yeah, even get creative, Blake.
BSK Sim Sports entry, car 17, Carl Nedler behind the wheel of that one at the moment, so great to see the BSK guys getting involved in our league again and coming in here for a race. I'm assuming, actually I'm not sure who Carl's team
He's with Kevin West.
Kevin West, okay, so that's a couple of names that we might be seeing together as teammates as well. So
Yes, so KKSR, Kevin West is the team name there.
yeah, so very cool to see Carl branching out from that BSK umbrella. Obviously a few teammates to choose from. We've acknowledged the fact that Leith's not in here. Something that I think Sean was quite relieved about based on his history with profile pics on SDK there. So, but yeah, obviously the other VSK guys potentially not available for Carl to team up with. So he's been able to find Kevin to team up with. So cool to see.
With see Ryan Wood now is out to a 16-second lead.
And in the
Nearly
pits.
17 seconds. And in the pits, yeah.
So Ryan Wood coming into the lane. That's not the way to your pit box, Ryan. That was a bit weird.
Good afternoon, Doug.
It's me. I'm here.
How are you, mate?
Good. Nice. Good to catch up with you again, Corey. Been tuning into the live stream while I've been out and about doing some stuff. And yeah, mate. Any time you want to jump back in and fill in for me, I'd gladly give my hat away to you. You and Shane make a great pairing.
Thank you very much. Honestly, my first attempt.
Absolute natural then, mate.
You're feeling a little under the weather this week, so I am trying my best.
I just caught a glimpse of that blocked nasal passage sound then. it's not too bad on the live stream, mate. They don't feel self-conscious.
So Richie
Right, I think
Stanaway
the-
just emerging from the lane, taking over from Ryan Wood, coming out in 5th position here.
Yeah, it's been
and
fantastic watching
actually-
the live stream, Shano. Awesome racing from everyone.
Yeah, there's been some good racing going on. Richie Stanaway emerging in 5th position, but actually the third of the guys that have taken 2 stops. So Thomas Freeman and Jeremy Maxwell, although they both pitted lap 54, so while they've had 2 stops, they may be a little bit out of sequence there, and once everybody completes the current round of pit stops, I think we should see Richie jump back to the top. While you've joined us in the broadcasting lounge, Doug, I think I'll let you and Corey chat amongst yourselves for a moment while I take a bit of a bathroom break.
Yep, all good, Shano.
What are you there, Doug? Right, looks like it's me. So we're watching Blake at the moment. Oh, we've got a car go around, but can't change
Yeah.
anything.
No, it's, Shano set it to most exciting for us, so I think no, it hasn't picked up on that car that's come around.
This is my favourite so far, and for the liveries of Larry Perkins' review there.
Yeah, I see that one. That's very tidy entry, and I did catch Sean's comment earlier after Shane dobbed me in for not voting for their team.
I believe that those other guys are your mates anyway, aren't they? Do you race with them for the enduro?
No. I have not either of those guys. I have raced against them in the past, in some GT3 racing, but no, it was just, to me, it was just a standout livery, and I'm a bit of a juiced fan as well. It's a great sugar-free energy product out of Australia. Do quite a good variation of flavours, and yeah, it's pretty good. So that was sort of why it caught my attention, and I thought that was where my vote should go.
There's a bit of close racing. Oh, David Coleman getting a wee nudge from behind there. Holding it together, he's got the inside. He's slowed up though.
Yeah, it becomes tricky, and it's hard because I know drivers have obviously got quite a variation of. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. There is a lot of variation of skill set amongst the drivers throughout the field. We've obviously got a very tight-knit bunch of drivers towards the front with very fast pace, and then we've got another block in the middle, and then some other drivers towards the rear that make up the third grouping. But I could see as some of the lead cars were coming around, flashing their lights, or just getting in through out of other cars that are a bit out of sequence on their pit stops and stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, I was just race hard, get stuck into it, because at the end of the day, there's no blue flags in this race. Everyone's on different race strategies and sets. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever car's in front of you, you should be doing your best to get around it, regardless of where you think it is in the grid order.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yes, most people are just trying to get around, I think.
And I was going to ask Shane before he just disappeared off to the bathroom, just getting confirmation of whether we've only had the one yellow that I saw, or whether we've had 2 so far, but I'm guessing this is our second one now.
Yeah, well, it looks like we've got one. Yes, yellow card right on cue.
Yep, that's correct. This is our second yellow. So the random number generator populated quite a good run to the first yellow flag, and then it's obviously the second one not too long after. Well, a good 40 laps after, so about a stint, just under a stint. So let's put it in that window where it is very interesting for strategy. But I think everybody's managed to get in and get there, or just about everybody's managed to get in to get their second stop done. Looks like Brendan Brownie's still showing has only completed 1 stop. So unfortunately, looks like Brendan and Dion will potentially lose out when, although I believe the pits would have opened this time around and they've stayed out to do another lap. Brendan's carrying on out there, so, but showing previous pit stop on lap 45, so they would certainly be getting close to being due for a pit stop. So surprised, while they will lose out if they take it under the yellow flag with the pits opening up after everybody's bunched up. A little bit of a surprise that they haven't taken that opportunity to get in and do it while they can then get back onto the back of the field, where once it goes green, they're still going to be bunched up, and if they have to pit soon after that, it will be even more costly.
Just missed the start of that, but you're referring to Brownie here, mate?
Yeah, Brownie.
Yep.
Looking close to being due for a pit stop, and not having come in. I believe the pits would have opened on that previous time by. So, although safety car lights still on, so you're going to have another lap before it goes green. And there's some dramas there. A few people joining the back of the pack a bit hot and checking up there. So I think we'll probably see Brownie come to the pits this time by, but I'd say there's a few guys behind that probably wouldn't have been due for a stop that are now going to be looking to come in and get some fast repair start.
I think so. Did you call Sean to task on his poor driving standards earlier on turning poor Brownie round?
We commented that he received the back tap.
Yep, I saw that.
We haven't actually had him back in the lounge since then. Okay, so there are a number of guys taking the opportunity to get into the pits under this yellow flag period.
Yeah, poor Shawnee totally didn't mean to do that to poor old Brownie, but it gave us a bit of an advantage until I spun out.
Bloody hell, Wayne.
Yeah, good time to have a yellow.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys have just taken, you took a stop on lap 81 and handed over to Bill. So you guys obviously choosing to stay out under this yellow?
I totally chewed my tyres. So. Yeah, interesting. If Sean had stayed out, he went in early as well. But if they had stayed out, they would have had to get fuel under the black flag. So. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Never a bad thing to get that stop done before the yellow comes out, because you can definitely find yourself in a position where you have to take that end of line penalty if you need to come in and get fuel when the pits are closed. And even if you manage to get around to when the pits open, then it's still a big price to pay when you come in with everybody bunched up behind you and you end up losing a bunch of spots. So just looking at it as well, it looks like you guys might have been in a group that has managed to be waved around the safety car by virtue of those guys coming to pit lane while you guys stayed out.
Okay, there we go.
So
yeah.
You guys able to get a lap back, so another reason why it's always good to have done your pit stop before the yellow comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Bathurst 1000. That's all I can say about my race so far today.
And I look forward to running that one, and hopefully joined by Corey from listening to him earlier. Wayne, he's a nat in the commentary booth, while Shane's going to be on a tiki tour away in Aussie for the real thing.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
There we go, green. There we go.
Yeah, we've got a restart. Field coming down into turn 1. A few lap cars getting out of the way in the background as well.
Yeah, it's such a small track with so many cars. Like, all you do the whole time while you're racing is feel like you're letting people past. It's pretty nerve-wracking.
But it looks like Shane Bankersburg has managed to get his lap back, and is about a minute behind. Sorry,
About
14
5
seconds.
laps and he'll 5 laps and he'll have his lead back. Yeah. our fast drivers certainly show their best as well. It's really, really 1-for-1 entry.
So cool to watch the field blasting over that curb down at turn 7 there.
We've had quite a few interesting profile pictures come up, and Sean's wanting us to find the favourites. So anybody in the YouTube comments, if you see somebody's profile picture and you think it's up there with David Nash or Bill Kilgore, definitely let us know in the comments which one you think's the best.
John Sanders wants to know how many cars will the Fishy drivers take out?
Well, John Sanders, if you'd been here to drive with them, maybe just you. I don't know, I haven't seen any poor driving standards from the Fishy drivers this evening. They seem to be pretty well on pace and up towards the front of the field, so...
Yeah, we've got David Coleman sitting in P2 here for Fishy Motorsports at the moment, so obviously benefiting from the Brad Newman tackle loss there.
It looks like there are other drivers in P4 at the moment.
Yeah, Jamie Dyack. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because it's a very unfortunate mispronouncement if that's wrong.
It's just bike with a D, isn't
You're
it?
right, you're right.
Well, yeah, that's how I was pronouncing it.
It has been fantastic viewing of this awesome event. Sandown 500. Big thanks to Simblacks for the continued support moving forward with this event. As you stated earlier, fell away from James Anderson going forward with it, but good to see that he's come along to race in the event as well. So unlucky James that wasn't able to go ahead for you, but hopefully we've put on a good enough show that you feel that we've done a solid one for you in regards to that.
Certainly weren't taking advantage, we just wanted to race, that was it really. Keep it going.
That was a big thing. I think there was quite a number of obviously the SuperCars group and admin were looking forward to taking part in the event, because it's not very often that we get to get out and race with the good buggers, because we're often streaming and commentating on them, so we're very much looking forward to having taken part in that event. So I thought it was undue we should just carry on and put him forward out there for everyone to get amongst and race with the other good buggers.
Yeah, totally. Certainly, good show, good turnout, and yeah, super stoked for SuperCars NZ and for the broadcasting lounge.
100%. And speaking of good buggers, how is Bill Kilgore going at the moment, Mike?
Well, the car's looking bloody awesome. Egos are a bit damaged, but the car's looking good.
There we go. Look at that.
31.
That's what Bill said earlier. Yeah, so... How's our pits there? Do you want to look at pit strategy? Shane? What do we got there? I'm just looking at John McKenzie.
Let's only try the top 11. Bear with me. Pit stops.
Oh, there we go. We forget Shane doesn't do this all the time, eh?
No.
You're going well, mate. You're going bloody well.
Cheers, Wayno.
Oh, yeah. So Scott McKenzie, 3 stops. We've only had 2. That's interesting.
Yeah, so we go to this one.
That was just strategic.
This tells us the lap of everybody's last pit stop. So
So
Scott at 89.
So under the the yellow there.
That was a few laps before the yellow. Yellow came on lap 93, so potentially maybe the first yellow they'd taken an opportunity to come in and get a splash. So then they're their pit stop on lap 89, they're making that third stop.
Yep. Alright, eyes forward, keep racing.
Awesome stuff. Heck yeah.
Big turnout of crowd tonight as today as well. It's looking good.
Yeah, so there's 64 watching. G'day, Bugs. I'm one of them. Keeping an eye on these comments. A bit unlucky there, Dane. Apparently,
Oh, whatever.
they ended up upside down in the pit at the pit exit.
Ooh.
If I recall correctly, would that make that almost back-to-back V8 races that Dane's been involved in, where he's been up on his roof?
Why, Dane's been on his roof?
Yeah, I remember him saying one of our Tuesday night SuperCars races was he'd had a bad moment, pipped into the wall, bounced off someone and rolled onto its roof. I can't remember if that was last week
Oh,
or one
yeah,
week,
I think I remember that, yep.
the week before, but because he made a comment about it saying in the 3 years of, or a couple of years of doing V8 Supercars, that's the first time it's ever happened to him. So
Yep, he has commented saying that happened.
there you go.
With a sneaky vote for Bill's profile picture, mate.
Doug, always on the pulse here at SuperCars NZ. Love your enthusiasm.
Oh, I've got to feed the ADHD somehow, mate.
Awesome, and well done, Shane. The stream's looking good, and yeah,
Right.
primo. And cheers, Corey, jumping along. Bloody awesome, man.
No worries, just learning as I'm going.
Oh, you just hang in here, give people a bit of shit, throw a bit of data, chuck a bit of sponsorship out there, and you got yourself a stream.
It does sound simple.
Is it that simple, Shane?
No.
Well, I had a moment before Shane went to the toilet. Doug's off having a conversation with somebody else. I did got a bit of stage fright.
I left him high and dry.
You did.
Yeah. It was like Corey turned to his right and stuck his hand out for a high five, and I was just nowhere there.
Actually, if you want to burn some time, should we bring Dane up?
I don't know if we've got that much left in the stream, mate.
Is he out on track or not? Is he racing or not?
No, he's commenting on YouTube, so if he's doing that while in the car, then I'm sure he can jump on the stream.
Yeah, let's bring him up for a chat, eh?
I'll bring him up.
Yeah, sweet. Sounds good.
The one and only Dane Doctor.
Hey, bro. Who's that?
Wowie. It's Dougie, and you are live to the broadcasting lounge.
I better turn that thing down then, right? The volume.
No,
I just
you're right,
turned-
man. All good, all good.
Yeah, I just turned the volume down off at the Simblacks.
As long as you don't start stuttering
Oh.
and you hear you.
No.
Oh, look at the car roll over in the background.
That was Dion in the property edge car.
Oh, really? What have we got?
Oh, Dion getting into the back of one of the skeleton cars there and
Oh, you're not coming back.
scratching up
He's
up
on the
Blake's
fence.
paint. I don't know if Blake will have him back after this.
Who's Blake? Oh,
That's an expensive blue as well on that property
Oh.
edge Mustang.
It is. Oh, when he's gone off again after the rejoin.
We've got Dion in the car currently.
Yeah, Dion in the
Oh.
car currently.
I think with that young Ridley Turner's car, was it?
It must have been, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been Ridley
Yes.
that was caught up in that.
Yeah.
Look where he parks it as well, like,
Yeah.
you need the crane for this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hang on to her, Blakey.
Yeah, it's over the fence.
Oh, no. Well, we were going to talk to you about vehicular rollovers, Dane. Apparently you had one where you were caught unstuck.
I've gone from like one of the most consistently clean drivers to the most consistently on my roof now. I like it. But it made it worse. We went, Chriso got involved with Jackson through in a little incident, so I wasn't sort of expecting to be on the rig, and as I was driving out, I noticed my naval high torque wasn't on. So as I was turning that on, the back of the car hit the rear of the fence and just flipped the car.
Oh,
and I was going to try and turn around in the pits, but I didn't want to get a disqualification flag, so I just reset the car back to the pits again. But I didn't know that the that fast repair wasn't. You've got to keep it ticked every time you come back in. So yeah, I had to wait for the tow, and then I had to wait for like 2 minutes of optional repairs, drive out, come straight back into the pits and do the fast repair. Yeah, so that's what put us all of these laps down. Christo was feeling really bad. I'm like, man, it cost us maybe a lap, Christo. It's cost us 8.
Oh yeah, you guys were looking pretty good there through with your laps as well. So
Yeah,
how did you find it with the number of cars out there and some of the pace from some of the front guys?
well, I find it awesome, man. Like I was in that first stint, I think I started 32nd or 35th or something, and just stayed out of trouble, man, and finished that stint in 18th, I believe. And but yeah, I don't have any issues with any of the faster guys. You know, I was just teaching Chris, coming, you sort of try and be selective. If you know that you're going to get caught in the S's, let them do that pass on the straight first, and just sort of roll onto your brakes a little bit earlier, so you can just fall in behind and not lose any time. So yeah, we're just looks like Chris has found himself in a battle with Shane and Bill now.
There's a cross out there running in 32nd.
Yeah.
Brendan Brownie just on track ahead of him, but I believe you're a lap down on Brendan.
It's saying Shano's in the car at the moment, Shane Narrans. Is that right, or I'm reading it wrong?
We got Chris on now, don't we?
Yeah, no, in the car in front, Shane and Brownie are paired up.
Oh,
Oh,
right,
is that,
true.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's showing Shane
no.
Narrans is in the car on relative.
Yep, it is P28, I think.
Yeah, that's him. We were 3 laps down. I just walked on up the hill and Rito just got the move done by the way. Hill was a few laps ago, so 2 laps behind now. But we got, I think, when that yellow flag came out, because I was able to extend my fuel stint an extra lap than most of the cars. By the time we fueled up and come out, it cost us an extra lap down.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. That
Strategy reversal.
Yeah. It ended up costing us for being efficient with the fuel.
Alright, well, thanks for the update on that one, Dana. We'll let you get back to chatting with your mates down there. And
Yeah, can I just say, guys, too, just thank you guys very much for the support for Dano's Sim support and the PSR guys. I haven't been watching any of the streams the last couple of weeks, but the guys said you've been very supportive of that. And, yeah, really appreciate it, eh?
not a problem, buddy. You're a big supporter of SuperCars NZ and what we do, so
Yeah, man.
a little bit back to you, it's easy enough for us.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
absolutely, man, and vice versa, mate. I love being a part of this league because you admin guys, you know, in the other leagues I've been in, it's not a discredit against those guys, but this whole admin crew continually are trying to improve our racing for all the members every day. You know, they come up with something else and they try and bring that into it as well. You know, so yeah, being very active for the members has been very awesome to be a part of this league. Eh? Awesome.
Cheers for that.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. We'll talk again soon, eh? Thanks, Shana.
so Shane Van Gisbergen just coming into the pits, handing over to Brad Newman again, and that's their third stop. So they're potentially, well, they'll be looking at a fourth stop unless Shane's going to do a lot of savings. They're about About 8 laps down, or it was 9 laps down when they actually came in on where I had the critical lap marker based on my numbers. While Shane was able to stretch the first stint out, I don't think they'll be able to stretch it out that far, particularly while they're trying to make up ground while they're down the order as well. So I think it's going to end up being a full stopper for these guys.
I don't want to alarm you, Shane, but we've got two rambunctious alcoholics knocking at the door. They've come in to check the beer fridge is still locked.
It's not beer o'clock yet.
Oh, sorry, I drank it all.
What is it?
No padlock's going to stop me with a hammer.
Has the racing been good, hey?
It's been great, yeah. You've been enjoying yourself out there?
No, it's terrible. I don't really like this track, and I was a bit average in my stint, but we won't talk about me. We'll move on.
Well, we've got to talk about what you did to Brownie.
Oh, yeah. So, what happened is I apologise straight away. My bad, it was all my fault. But because our team's team were in the comms don't work, we got to switch him over to the car, and he never got it. He absolutely abused me when we found him. He absolutely. And then when I said, no, I actually said sorry straight away, then he sort of changed his tune. But no, it was a good sport. That was his only problem. Yeah, so that was all right. Yeah, and then I thought I hit someone at the turn 1, but apparently I didn't, and I noted and I shouldn't have. But well, I'm enjoying it, man. It's, these guys are super fast, eh?
They are. They certainly are. Does it make you feel feel I was going to say nervous thinking about going to Bathurst with them?
Nah, more bigger track, more space.
No, because once you go over the top of the house, you can't pass anyway, so they can flash their lights all they like. You're not going to pull over, are you? Across the top of the mountain. You might give way at the cut-in, or you might give way at Forest Elbow, but other than that, they're sort of stuck behind you, you know? And if fast guys are pushing through there, well, they're just going to end up being a whole lot of disappointment, you know? So, how's it all going? Shane, what else has been happening? What's the highlight so far? What happened with Dion? Dion turning that car. What was the result of that?
Just recently.
Yeah.
So it was hard to really get a good view of what happened. It looked like the lap car was trying to let him go, and he probably just misjudged his car position a little bit and just clipped that rear corner.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. That's what I've always said with cars. Like, even though blue flags are supposed to sort of make it easy, but you're better off driving as hard and as fast as you can, because else those problems, what we were just describing, happen.
And I made that comment about blue flags. We can see the drivers through the start of the session. I know it's it's a hard one to do, but as far as endurance race goes, you don't have to adhere to that blue flag. You know, whilst you're still on that lead lap or one lap down, because you're still essentially in contention with the way pit strategies go or safety cars play out. So as far as I'm concerned, it's if there's a car in front of you, you've got to make the deal to get past it cleanly.
Yep, 100%, totally agree. Which I didn't do with Brownie.
And then
So, who's winning the old photo comp? Who's winning the... I looked at the incident points. Obviously, we got, believe it or not, Craig Mason and James Anderson, they're quite low on the incident points, as well as Danaway's very low. Because he's got a few, so he's not going to win that one. There's quite a few teams still in contention to win the extra, what we call iRacing dollars for the lowest incidents. That's what Wayne came up with, but I sort of came up with giving them a racetrack on iRacing each.
oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah, the photo competition. I think me and Corey both have our favourites so far still being Bill and the mullet, which I've forgotten who the mullet was.
David Dash.
David Dash, that's the one. Yep.
Oh, that is glorious. If you've ever seen a glorious mullet, it is that.
I'd be quite happy to vote for a couple of Muppets.
Yeah, well, there's one Muppet that's got my vote, but he's not a real Muppet, but his picture is one.
Righto, gents, that's my time in the lounge here once again expelled. I've got to shoot off again for the afternoon. I'll tune into the live stream from time to time to see how it's all going for the remainder. But good luck to all the drivers and to Shano and Corey running the broadcasting lounge this evening. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Robert.
Have a good one,
Cheers,
Mickey.
mate.
Cheers, dog.
Whee.
Alright, I'm gonna go support Bill and you guys have a good call.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
There we go. Here's Bill.
That's exactly right, Scott. Scott has just made a comment. Being fast doesn't make a good driver. Being fast and being able to pass clearly makes a good driver.
100%.
So that's me out. That's me out.
Yeah, it's definitely brought the Mega Tap right out.
The Mega Tap, did you get it on the stream or did you go and watch it after?
We did. I can't remember whether it was a replay or live, but we certainly got it.
I think it was live.
Yeah, it might have been live.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually, what about that incident at turn 1? I wouldn't mind seeing the replay of that. I might have to go back and look at that one.
Yep, I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody will be checking it out. I reckon you could almost have a prize for something, the best replay of the day.
This replay. We could
You
actually
know,
go through
they
that.
can save their replay and send it in.
Oh, get out the way!
Bit of door rubbing.
Nice. I think I can hear it going off in the other chat.
Yeah, that was a very firm pass there, wasn't it?
The car is looking as clean as it's looked all day.
Thanks to those fast repairs, isn't it?
Cheers, Shane, for putting this on. We put it on for sure, mate. Cheers, mate. I think it's turned up really awesome. I'm sure all the drivers, we're going to get a couple. We're going to get a couple put out, so that's brilliant. I mean, for an event of this nature, so everyone's still going strong. And the cars actually asking.
So Bruce Tannett getting involved in this little three-way battle here for P15. Oh, and goes around. There was a bit of net code with the overlap, but I think there was always going to be contact there. And
Leon giving the wave as he goes by.
yeah, Bruce getting it flipped back around, not losing too much. Just the one spot on track there, but a fair bit of time dropped, and we are starting to get down to the business end of the race now, so generally that's probably not what you want to have happen.
I think we can get home from here. No, I interrupted you. But I was quite excited because I saw the lap number, 117. I thought it was 116 was enough gas to get you home. So what was your little strategy?
I had 118 as the critical lap based on the numbers that I'd been given. But we did see, we did see in the first stint a couple of guys able to go a bit longer than what my numbers had as well. So I think we are on or around that critical lap where guys can fuel up and get home. So
would you actually pull up now? Like, would you pull up to the top and that's your last, or would you wait and short full of fuel? I mean, this is the time you get the least amount of fuel in, you know, so you're not sitting there for a longer time, you know, because you've got fuel in the car. So
if you've got fuel now, I'd be running the tank out, and then your next stop's going to be shorter. So yeah, that would make more sense. The shorter your last stop is, the better you're going to be, I reckon.
Because what happened in our team is he called me in 9 laps short of my stint, and then the safety car came out after we'd done 8 laps, so it would have been perfect for us, but he called me in early.
And after you gave us the rundown on your strategy.
Yes. Oh, is that what happened? Oh man, there's carnage going on. Oh, Leon, don't you hit the... Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, we've got a car.
Watch the replay of this. This is just absolutely carnage.
That juiced car was lucky to get out of the way there.
Peter Vandenberg involved in what you're talking about by any chance, Sean?
I just saw the cars everywhere, and then more cars came in and more cars were going everywhere. So that's the start of it.
Yeah.
That's the start of it. And then I think he tries to hold up for him, which caused more problems. Let's have a look. No, he doesn't hold up. a little bit of a flash. So that wasn't it. The car's behind. You go back to the next car.
Looks like it was Jason Upton that he made contact with that went around.
But it's his rejoy that's caused a bit of carnage.
We're certainly doing the right thing at the moment and just waiting.
Waiting, yeah, that is good.
Got a comment here from Jason when he wasn't in the car. He says, "Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome everyone watching. Thank you for the broadcast. Very hard out there for myself and Andrew, as we are both Division 2 drivers. We've had a few car problems."
Yeah, see, here we go. Wasn't that caused it? Where is it?
Oh!
There! Oh, so it's nothing to do with him at all. He did the right thing, so there you go, Jason. We put the blocker on you.
No, you're doing a good job, Jason. You're trying to keep out of the way and you're just trying to circulate and have a good time, and that's what's important.
So I think that might have been
those two.
Brandon Roach. Oh, a bit of netcode there.
When they race for position, because it's a bit hard when it's such a long race. I never know who's racing the position, who's a lap down, and who's doing what.
So unfortunately, I don't have data on who he actually tangled with.
There was a bit of a
car, so it's car 503.
So they're circulating in 20 seconds.
Yeah, so it looks like there was probably a lap gap between them.
Yeah. Oh, look at that rental. That was crazy. This one we saw, eh? Holy. Puck gets going even watching the replay. No, yeah, good on them too, and that's what I was meaning right from the start when I came up, you know, that skill gap between front and rear. And it was going to be there. A bit of patience needs to be by everyone.
Yeah, patience is definitely key.
Right, so what I need to do after that is go and check my teammates' undies and see if he's still got to throw them away. I'm going to go down, but I'll be back.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, guys. Doing a good job. Wicked. Well done.
Sitting saw him teamed up with Carl Nedler there. Luke Dilworth in 18th. So I believe he might be linked to Million Esports, so I could be completely wrong. Down in 19th, and is it just me, or is that car crabbing a little bit?
It does seem to look like that.
Could just be the angle.
With unlimited fast repairs, you'd think there's no other damage there, so I wouldn't imagine that sort of failure would be happening.
No, you'd expect to see some body damage to indicate some contact that's caused that sort of damage, so it's probably just the angle. The camera was putting the car up and back straight there, I think. Make it look like it was running a little bit sideways down the track.
We're under 40 laps to go now.
Yeah, and Sean's teammate Leon has just been into the pits, so making what will for them hopefully be their final stop.
It's cheeky. He asked me for a bit of advice. Probably used it.
Yeah. Property edge car and Jack Barrow not too far behind P21, so this could end up being a nice battle for position as we come into the closing stages. Looks like Dion put it on that 117, so that's probably just able to get him home. We're actually Jack probably looking at needing one more stop, so That's probably going to take him out of that battle, but Brandon Roach also getting involved in that, and he pitted lap 116, so potentially having to save a little bit to make it home from there, but I would say he's expecting to be out there till the end now, maybe looking to tuck into the slipstream to get some saving done and then look to battle late in the race to see if he can get position over down to Grafware.
Yep, again down to a little bit of strategy to hopefully get your car ahead of the car in front of you somehow in these dying laps. And you never know, there could be a safety car to bring everything back in. And yeah, so down to strategy basically now, and making sure you get your fuel to get home and try to keep clean. And it's looking good for Richie Stanaway at the moment with the 4-second lead over Blake Warboys.
Yes, I'm not sure we're in control of the race at the moment. We have been following Brad Newman and Shane Van Gisbergen's charge to try and get back to the lead of the race, but they've made 3 stops with Brad currently in the car, and their previous one was on lap 108, so I don't believe they're going to be able to get home from there, so they're probably looking at making one more stop. I would assume when they do that, they'll probably chuck Shane back in the car, but he's going to have a lot of work to do on that final stint.
Well, we know that Shane, it's good towards the end of a race, especially if he's got good tyres.
Yeah, 100%. So it'll be interesting to see when they choose to make that stop. I would say potentially they'll look to get in quite late after everybody else has made their final stops and give Shane some fresh tyres and see what he can do with that and see if he can maybe charge through the field to grab a good result at the end.
Yeah, definitely. We have a bit of a scroll through the field again now.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying to scroll down the guys, trying to remember where I was up to when I was last doing that, and we've got Daniel Nolan sitting down here at 23rd. Hopefully by the end of the race I will have covered everybody off. Nick Bakey sitting at 24th there. K&N livery that we've talked about a bit that you did back in 2024.
Yeah, I did let him know he's missing a spec map off it. But knowing Nick, he's lost it somewhere.
Yeah, probably. So Hayden Gupta was sitting in 25th. No sponsors on the side of that car, but I don't mind that livery to be fair. It's simple black with a bit of a few purple stripes in amongst it. It's simple, but simple's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Shane Owens in the 999 racing with Brendan Brownie in the Diverse Technologies Commodore there. Scuffed up the side of it a little bit since their last pit stop and dove to the left to get out of the way. I'm not sure the skeleton car was quite aware of what he was doing there and almost ran to the back of him, but managed to squeeze around him.
Doing their best to keep away from the McNamara Weir car.
Yeah, for sure, as Leon just makes his way around the outside coming into the run over the hill there, and Leon actually running wide and I believe would have picked up a slowdown for that as well, coming the corner. Trent Bennett in 27th in car 13, Misfits STP Commodore. Bill Kilger in the 111 racing with our friend Wayne Bloor. We had Wayne in the broadcasting lounge a little earlier. they haven't had the best of days, sitting in 28th though, so they've been able to move forward from where they were when we checked on them earlier. So good to see, and good to see them still running and making up positions as well.
Yeah, staying in it, that's all we can do, and just enjoy the rest of their Sunday afternoon. Yeah, approaching 5 o'clock in sim time.
Yeah, so that sun's starting to go down. Big shadows coming over the track now, so that'll help them with bringing the track temperature down as well, getting the direct UV off that track.
She's definitely pretty cool at the moment. It's just 19 degrees.
Yeah, so that's very much in that ideal window. They'll be getting a nice grippy track. Cooler temperatures always tend to result in a grippier track, so those guys will be happy out there to be running around in these conditions. Corey Savage running in 30th in the Skeleton Sim Sports car. Teamed up with Ridley Turner in that one.
He spelt his name right too.
Thanks, Bill.
Ross Watson in 31st. No boot or spoiler on the back of that car, so he's been involved in a little bit of dramas there. Another Misfits STP Commodore with Simblacks across the windscreen banner there. What's up at Cheese Racing with Dame Motor. Unfortunately, these guys had a little bit of an issue with their entry into the second server and had to join under a different team, I believe, so that's why they're just showing a stock standard iRacing livery there. As Chris doing well to get out of the way of that car coming through there, which was Jeremy Maxwell, I think. Jason Upton in 33rd. Now one more running down the left. As Chris, who we were watching a moment ago, has actually come into the pits, so they're going to make their final stop. Interesting to see where Dane has jumped in that car, so he's going to bring that one home for them. Nico Scholes looks like he has disconnected, unfortunately. Certainly not on track at the moment anyway. And same for Cole Buchan. So we got through to the back of the field. I hope we've been able to cover everyone off. Obviously as positions jump around, it's possible that we've missed someone, but I think we've probably managed to get everybody in the shot at least once during the stream. So certainly getting down to the business end now. It's going to be 30 laps to go at the end of this one, and with a short lap that's going to tick away very quickly. Keep it nice and steady on the run down into Dandenong Road there. He's got a 16-second lead. Only 6 guys currently still on the lead lap. So those guys that have managed to stay on the lead lap will be very happy to have done so.
Yellow.
As the yellow flag comes out once again. Richie's just gone past the pace car there, coming past the pits, so I think he's going to have to slow down and let the pace car past again.
He shouldn't get a penalty for that, will he?
No, as long as he's behind at the control line, he should be fine. You can see there the pace car able to drive through the cars on track
Push,
there.
push, push, bro. Keep going.
Yes, that's handy.
Yeah, quite good to know that you can't crash into the pace car.
It'll be a good chance to check out some paints. Going slow enough for us to see them.
Yeah, that's right. So,
If you got like a close-up camera,
let's see what I can grab.
probably
here.
like a TV camera.
I just managed to. That's not a bad
Yeah,
one
something like
there.
that'll work.
Yeah.
So if anybody sees a paint they think it's got to be retro, keep that in mind. Make sure you let us know in the comment section which one you reckon should win.
So Richie actually, not having made his final stop before that yellow came out, has just taken the opportunity to get into the lane. And there's got a few guys that were behind him who had made their final stop, so that's going to drop Richie, or as Ryan takes over the car, drop Ryan back down in the order. So he's going to have some work to do. Greg Newman also currently in the pits.
Quite a few guys have probably unlapped themselves about now.
Yeah, it does look that way actually, and interestingly, Brad's staying in the car. No, sorry, Shane Van Gisbergen has just got into that car. So Ryan is going to be P4 as he comes out onto the track. So the top three have been able to stay out, having already made their final stops. So Ryan's going to have to find his way around them. Shane Van Gisbergen's still in the pits, as Joel Hanks comes out just ahead of him, and Shane actually coming out in 6th position. So we're talking about him potentially having a fair bit of work to do, but he's going to emerge in P6. He may have a few lap cars to deal with once the green flag does come out, but he's certainly far enough up the order that with a bunched field, he could conceivably get back to the front of this one.
Yeah, no, that's definitely possible, but with Ryan Wood in front of him, knowing that Ryan is very fast today. But he's got 3 guys in front of him, and 2 of them are from the same team as well, so won't be making anything easy.
That's for sure.
Settle in, folks, because the last half an hour of this race is going to be on fire. Yeah, so I reckon a couple of cars have managed to unlap themselves as well, so there's 10 cars.
Come on, boys, everyone push.
So we've got the green flag, and it's going to be Blake out front. He's hoping to take the green flag and heading down towards turn 1. Side by side there as I head towards turn 2. Not too much drama going on. Looks like there was a bit of a gap with some of the cars that got waved around, not quite able to get on to the back of that. Coming up back straight now. Over the hill, out over the hill. Gap out, lap car in between them as well, so that's going to help him. But Shane Van Gisbergen sitting in P5. Ryan Wood in P3 as well, just behind Blake Delaney. So that's traffic getting out of the way, and top three are going to be in the correct order on track. We're getting well and truly into the business end of this race. Lights coming on the cars. I think we're actually going to end up in a little bit of darkness, which shouldn't have been how it panned out. So probably some of the settings not quite working out. But hey, these cars have headlights, so they can race into the dark if they need to.
Yeah, it could get scary. There's no track lights around here, so she will get dark. No, we should be right. We've got less than half an hour to go.
Ryan Wood moving up into P2, and he's going to set the sights on Blake Warby's now. Shane Van Gisbergen still not able to make any progress, but getting in towards the back of Jamie Dyke. Maybe looking to just bring the tyres up nicely and have a little bit more to work with in the dying stages. We could end up with a very tight battle. I have a feeling it's going to come down to a tight battle between Shane Van Gisbergen and Ryan Wood. Ryan's certainly looking to make hay while the sun shines, while he's got a few cars between himself and Shane at the moment. But Shane just having to negotiate some lap traffic there. Still sitting in behind Jamie Dyke at the moment. Running on board with Shane Van Gisbergen as he looks to chase down Jamie Dyke and go into turn 1 here. Nice and smooth, getting the power down, right in the limiter in towards turn 2 here. So he's carrying the speed through here. Can he get the run off this corner, tuck into the slipstream? Closing with the slipstream, even hitting the limiter in 6th gear, but not able to have enough speed to get alongside. But if he can, oh, as he closes in under brakes, almost gets into the back of him. Able to open up the corner on entry there and get the good exit, but still not able to find a way past. But Jamie runs a little bit wide off the final corner there, and this is going to be Shane's chance. He gets alongside. He's going to avoid a little bit of side drafting there. And gathering some momentum, and he's got well and truly down the inside now, and he's going to control the inside at turn 1. Looks to park it on the apex to protect against the switchback, and I would say that's a job well done to get the pass made there.
As a pretty, avid motorsport fan, I'd have to say that, having the opportunity to race with actual supercar drivers is pretty cool. Not everybody enjoys racing with them, and not everybody likes them, because now people have got social media and they can say whatever they want. But rubbing doors with professional drivers is, like I always thought was pretty cool myself whenever I got a chance to do it.
Yeah,
Look
100%.
who's in the pits. Look who's in the pits.
Brendan Brownie.
Sorry to butt in.
So is that just giving you guys position on him, has it?
Yeah, sure has, sure has. And Bill's gonna hang on to that wheel and bring the baby home, so yeah, we're looking reasonably respectable. 27 cars started. We're in 28, 37, we're in 28. So it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Mm.
Ryan Wood certainly putting the pressure on Blake Warby's out front.
Oh, I love that, look at that.
And meanwhile, the ever-present threat of Shane Mangisbergen looking to close in from behind. So Ryan will be wanting to find a way around Blake as soon as he can to try and get some good clean laps in and see if he can make a gap, while Shane's trying to find his way around the two Blakes. Blake Warby's out in front and Blake Delaney in third there. Ryan will want to try and create as much of a gap as he can on Shane while Shane's in traffic, so that he's got something to defend with once Shane gets some clean air. But you can see he's closing those gaps down very quickly and he's almost on the back of Blake Delaney there.
Yeah, for him not to be carving up the way he normally does, he's got 3 guys in front of him, must be super fast.
I remember watching Ryan Wood do just over a 2-minute lap from a standing start at Bathurst. You guys remember that?
Was that one of our races?
Yeah, it was a V8 race that was at Bathurst, and Ryan Wood, like the first lap was almost
There he goes.
just over 2 minutes.
Ryan Wood to the lead.
Go.
So we've got 2 cars between him and Shane Mangisbergen.
Yeah, for sure. So had another look at that pass. It was a good job he did. In the draft down, back straight, comes over the hill, dropping down. Just holds it tight to that left-hander and comes off the brake pedal to slide it down the inside, and probably catching him off guard a little bit, but a nice clean pass.
He's a good young fella, Ryan Wood. He actually groomed our car. He was raising money for his motorsport endeavours, doing something with my wife's boss. And yeah, did a good job of cleaning the car, that's for sure. So just as good a job racing as he does with a bit of a tidy up. He's in for a good shot at it when he gets in the main game.
Yeah, very cool. Meanwhile, Shane Mangisbergen has made it onto the back of Blake Delaney here, so he knows Ryan's been able to get that clean air. Shane's going to be looking for that clean air himself now, and certainly looking to put the pressure on Blake Delaney with Blake Warby's just in front of him. Meanwhile, Ryan Wood looking to create that gap that we talked about, but Shane getting down the inside off the final corner already and made that look super easy.
The drive out of that at this stage in a race is exactly what we were talking about earlier, isn't it? With the keeping himself till there's 10, 15 laps to go, and he's gonna be right up there.
Yeah, potentially might have been saving his tyres a little bit earlier on there, and deciding when to pounce and finding a nice spot to park and pounce as well. All these guys battle up front of him.
Yeah, certainly something he's very good at is looking after those tyres and saving them to the right time, and even just knowing when he needs to start getting on with it to get the job done. He's going to pull a similar pass on Blake Warby's that Ryan Wood pulled on him, so Blake's probably going to be having a bit of a deja vu with the identically liveried car pulling almost an identical pass on him as well. Heard a bit of a crash sound in the background as
Yeah, that was
Zach
Zach.
pops up on my
Zach,
data,
yeah.
so what's happened to Zach here?
Oh no, it might have been the earlier one.
Yeah, might be Sam Tucker, because that's at the other end of the track, so I don't think that's what I heard.
Yeah,
This is oh wow, that was a big one.
Yeah,
Let's have a quick look at that.
so involved there.
So the Make It Fishy car just let him go, and then I think probably just misjudged his braking there. So quite unfortunate, and Zach, or sorry, Sam certainly coming off worse for wear from that one.
Yeah, most definitely unfortunate. Yeah, Mr. Van Gersbergen doing the work.
So as they come across the line, what are their lap times? Ryan Wood 107.04, Shannon Gisbergen 6.88. So a couple of tenths have been able to take out of Ryan on that, but not a lot between them, and the gap's sitting at 1.5 seconds. So this is going to get very tight. Of course, still the potential of another safety car yet. That's not out of the question.
Oh, is there going to be one? I'm still racing. All good.
Well, regardless if there's a safety car, everyone's got their fuel. You'd hope to get home here.
Yeah, that's right. I think everybody should be filled to the end from that previous safety car that we did see. So it'll be interesting to see if there is another one. Whether anybody decides to try and get some fresh tyres on and see if they can work their way back to the back. I think the size of the field that we've still got in here tonight, I think you'd probably be giving yourself a bit too much work to do if you tried to do that.
Most definitely. Alright guys, have fun. I'm going to head back down and support my teammate Bill, and see you at the end, eh?
Yeah, cheers Wayne, good luck for the run.
Go well, mate.
Previous lap, it's down to 1.2 now, so we'll be starting to get right onto the edge of that slipstream now. Probably won't be getting much of a benefit just yet, but if we can close it down another couple of tenths, you might start to get a little bit of a tow, and then as he gets closer and closer, that tow will get better and better, and he'll be able to really drag his way forward through that.
He's just gonna lay and wait. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna be right there for any mistakes. He's gonna be just waiting. Yeah, so he's a couple of tenths quicker that last lap.
I just talked to Brendan Brown because it looked like he had a bit of a battle on his hands, but he's just made a little bit of a mistake and dropped back behind Bill Kilger, so that's going to be a battle to keep an eye on as the race unfolds. Brendan Groach also just holding off Daniel Heddershide at the moment, pretty close to those guys, but around the graph, not far behind Daniel either. So Dion's had a few mishaps in that property's car as,
there's a big
that
off
was
there.
Daniel Heddershide going wide, losing control and collecting somebody else on the way through, so...
One of the misfits car. Someone else off there as well.
See what happened here, he's gone well deep at turn 1, ends up on the grass and just lights it up as he's trying to get that rejoin, and still didn't quite see who that was. Trent Bennett off track, looked like they've been involved in that. But it wasn't Trent that he collected, but certainly Trent, eventually Trent Bennett collected. Unfortunately I don't have data on everything involved in Connor Nixon there, but
we've got Dion's had a bit of an incident as well. What is it, Blake? Sorry.
It is Dion in that car at the moment. He's not happy over the mic. There is some net code involved there.
Oh, some evasive action to miss him.
Yeah, sorry about that, fellas. Double thing at car contact. Guys, that's what I should say. There's not like a computer cap behind.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate there.
I think that would be a retread. Then what did it, boys?
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And we've got another safety car. Just as Shane Van Gisbergen was really starting to close in on Ryan Wood, now they all have the chance to cool off those tyres, bunch back up. Potential for anybody that's already at the back of the pack to be able to get some fresh tyres on without losing too much. Certainly if you're near the front and in contention, you're going to be giving yourself too much to do if you drop yourself to the back even with fresh tyres. But somebody that's already at the back could be a good option for them to get in and get some fresh tyres on and see if they can gain a few spots from that.
Well, there's probably only going to be, 10 to go by the time it goes green, I reckon.
Yeah, it's going to be a super tightly contested run to the flag. Looks like, as far as the top guys are concerned, so as far back as P6, the lap cars are already out of the way. So the top 6 will group up, no lap cars between them, and they will have a really tight battle. Looks like Connor Nixon, a few lap cars between himself and Harrison, but some of those guys, well, as we see someone getting out of the way there, just a bit of a check up as they meet the safety car there at turn 1. So if Connor can move himself around some of that lap traffic quickly, he could potentially get himself into contention as well. But certainly the top 6 will all be very tightly bunched.
Be interesting to see if anybody takes the pit lane.
Yeah, that's right. I think it will still be closed at this time. It should open up for them next time around. So I am seeing Jason Upton in the pits, so that's potentially needing to come in and get some damage repaired and just take that in the line penalty.
Up to
Now, interesting as well, we've got Ryan and Shane both running that identical livery. It's on different cars. Ryan's running the Mustang there, Shane in behind in the Commodore.
Yeah, and then what looks like to be Richie Stanaway's face on the door.
Yes. And of course Richie's going to jump in the Red Bull Camaro with Shane for this year's 1000 and the 500 here at Sandown as well. Before next year he jumps into a Grove Racing Mustang. So Richie...
Definitely good work from him to build himself back up from his exit from the main game back in 2019.
Yeah, for sure. And the wild card with Greg Murphy, Richie put on a great performance in that last year and put himself back on the map, didn't he? Scored himself the highly coveted Enduro drive alongside Shane Van Gisbergen this year, alongside the defending champ, as we do see a few cars coming into the pits. And Richie, obviously, without even having been back in a supercar or racing a supercar since that wildcard performance, he's already done enough through his GT racing and his testing to have himself in the picture for silly season. And with the moves that were initially set off by Shane deciding to go to NASCAR next year, Richie's been able to find himself a seat on the grid at Grove Racing.
It definitely just turned into one of my favourite stables, the Grove Racing stable, with Matthew Payne there with him as well. Another young fella that we've seen come through SuperCars NZ around the COVID time.
Yeah, for sure, and great to see an all Kiwi lineup for those guys as well. We saw an all Kiwi lineup at DJR Team Penske back in the day with Scott McLaughlin and Fabian Coulthard. So cool to see Grove Racing, having 2 Kiwi drivers in their lineup next year. So they'll definitely
so
be one to cheer on.
For me, I've never really been a Ford versus Holden guy. I was more going for the guy, the Kiwi. So back a few years ago, there wasn't too many. You only had sort of 2 or 3, and got up to sort of 5, I think, at one. It's good to see them out there all over the world. Good luck to Liam Lawson tonight too, making his Formula 1 debut over in the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, for sure, and Liam's another name that we've had join us from time to time in Supercars NZ, and of course has raced in a couple of the Virtual Motorsport NZ mental health enduros and done very well on those.
Yeah, they won the first one. Himself and Matt Stevens won the first one, and Matt won the second one after Liam had to attend to some team stuff somewhere awesome with some awesome cars. But yes.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for a restart here. Ryan Wood is going to have control of us with Shane Van Gisbergen just behind him, sniffing. Already looking to get out of line, looking to time that green flag, but Ryan's going to go nice and early for breaking the toe hard down that left-hand side.
Green.
A little bit of follow the leader.
Yes, they'll go down into turn 1. A couple of guys poking out further back in the grid, but so far, single file for the fast guys. Sean McNamara telling Dion off for flashing over the radio there. It's not revealing anything private there, that's actually flashing the headlights that Sean's talking about. As they come down the back straight, Ryan Wood still up second ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen now. Up over the hill and into this left-handed run down the hill.
Would be flashing the headlights. The headlights are on now, aren't they?
Dion's, yeah. Right, don't they? No. It's a bit much.
How's things from the team perspective?
Team perspective is we're chasing the guy with his headlights flashing all the time. That's for, our tyres are worn. It's getting dark. The tyres are slippery. It's good fun, man. The yellows have been perfect in this race.
If anybody has teammates watching the stream, tell your drivers to flash your headlights just to see if we've got any contact. Half the field will be going too.
Izzy and Ryan Wood have been together with the old team.
Yeah, Shane pulling out to the outside. Looking to get the better run through here and down the hill. Does he poke the nose out? Bit of a tap there.
Another bump. Are we race control for the last 10 laps? Can we do it?
I think we have to stick with the consistency of not having it.
Not having it, but being angry at people. Good for him. Cool. What I'm seeing is white wheels.
Plenty of white wheels.
Yeah, there are a couple of white wheels there, aren't there?
First, second, not third, but fourth, I think. Whose face is on the side of their cars?
Richie Stanaway.
Oh, look at that.
I've been having a laugh at that. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty face, hey. You wouldn't want Ryan Wood one, I don't think Ryan Wood looks like, to be honest. He can be standing next to me, but I'm just like
So while Shane and Ryan are fighting, it's allowed the two Blakes to stay pretty close behind them. Certainly Blake Warby's almost had a sniff down here on the previous lap when these two were bumping down into Dandenong Road, and Blake Warby's almost had a chance to sneak through down the inside, but just couldn't quite get there, but certainly remaining in touch as we've got some data on Jason Upton crash. We'll just stick with this battle down the front straight because it could turn into a move down at turn 1. Shane picking up the draft, we might be too far back here at this point. Yeah, he's just going to have to sit in behind so we can jump to that replay now. Jason Upton. Actually, I saw him rejoining.
Got the end of it.
Yeah, that's just got around the end of it. I do have going off track.
Oh,
So
no.
he's got another moment there. Yes, I think we'll leave Jason alone. I think it's not really been his day. He's had a few little issues. Shane Van Gisbergen,
Hey,
meanwhile,
but they're still here 154 laps later, and Jason, that's all you need, mate. You just keep going.
Yeah, 100%.
But he was battling Dion and then got past.
Nice.
I'm getting counselling. Are we back soon, boys?
See you, Sean.
Thanks, Shorty.
So Ryan was still leading over Shane Van Gisbergen, 3 tenths in second. Shane getting the good exit off the final corner, and the draft is helping him close that gap down to 2 tenths now. Probably still just a little bit too far back to think about a move into turn 1 though. But getting right under that rear wing, probably pushing him a little bit through the corner. Has half a look, shows the nose at turn 2. And he's going to have a look down at 4. That's not a traditional passing spot. He's straightened them up after contact. Does he see the need to redress that? We'll wait and see. It's certainly allowed Blake to find his way, both Blakes to find their way past Ryan Wood there. And I think Shane has rolled out of this. No, he hasn't. So I think he's going to go on with it. Ryan Wood, meanwhile, looking to get... Oh, and he's made contact with Blake Warbeast there. Blake Warbeast is going to drop back and...
Oh, there's a big accident there.
Yeah, that's a big drama, and... a few cars getting caught up in that, unfortunately. What it means, though, is Shane Van Gisbergen has been able to put a little gap on the field as we come down 6 laps remaining now. See if we can unpick what went on in that moment. Yeah, so we've got Blake Warby's crashed. So we've got to see Ryan firing it down the inside of Blake Delaney, just catching Warby's at that apex, and then a bit of rolling after the fact there and sitting on the racing line. The majority of the field doing a good job to get through there cleanly, and eventually Blake able to back it up and get off the track safely, and then really careful with that rejoin as well. So there was a bit of chaos in it, but could have been a lot worse. Certainly everybody was tightly packed with that battle that was going on at the front. But Shane now able to run away to a 2.5 second lead thanks to that little incident that we had going on here. So Shane in control of this one now. It's probably hard to see him losing out. I think Ryan probably attempted to redress that incident, dropped behind Blake Delaney, but Blake Warby's I think had dropped back too much, and Ryan wasn't really able to successfully redress that one. So we'll see how Ryan goes now. Does he get on with it and look to consolidate with a second position here? Meanwhile, Bill Kilger's been able to put a bit of a gap on Brendan Browning here. That's just stretched out a little bit. Brendan might have been involved in some of that restart drama there, as he's just missing the boot and the rear wing off the back of that car, so he might have taken a bit of a hit from behind earlier. Starting to get pretty dark now as we do close into the dying stages of the race. Just going to have enough daylight for you guys to be able to see where they're going, but it will be starting to get a little bit tricky out there.
Yeah, those headlights have taken more effect than the sun.
Yeah, for sure, starting to right the way around the track for these guys. Just a few laps remaining now in the race as Shane Lisbon is still in control of this one. This battle is really heating up for P2 now, with Ryan closing in on Blake Laney.
I think that Fishy Perkins paint deserves to take out the best paint, I reckon.
Check, Mike, check.
Oh, got you, Wayne, but Ryan Wood in the fence after contact with Blake Delaney, and Blake finding the fence as well, so...
That was massive, eh?
Yes, it's all going Shane Van Gisbergen's way now. Out to a 6-second lead, nearly 7 seconds, as we come down with 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, massive battles going on. I saw that unfold up the top there, pretty loose.
Yeah, so the Fishy Perkins paint takes out the retro.
Oh, there we go. Let Sean know and hear the disappointment in his voice.
So that's Blake Delaney. With that damage that he picked up from that tangle with Ryan Wood, just cruising out to Harrison Dingate there as well, so dropping to P3. Meanwhile, Wayne, you and Bill have been able to put a nice little gap on Brendan Brownie since that last restart.
Yeah, that's because I'm not in the car.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, Wayne.
Nah, just said to Bill, man, if you're feeling good and it's looking tight, bring it home, and he's bringing it home. I've cracked it Corona.
Nice. So you get to sit back and enjoy watching him bring it into the sunset, into the dusk even now as we're getting into the last couple of laps.
Yeah, that's the one. We just need a commentator's curse on Corey Savage if you could.
I can't put I can't do that to somebody with the same name as me that spells it correctly.
Nah, don't do that. It's a bit mean. Because he's doing really well though. All car flew off in the background.
Well, everybody's doing really well actually. We had 37 cars registered for the race, but a couple of them I think due to some mistakes with registration didn't actually start. Dan Lauder was able to use his second account to be able to join in another team, and I think Oliver Robson wasn't able to start due to an error there. So we had 35 cars take the start, and they're all still running out there. No, sorry,
cool.
no, correction on that. There are a few cars that aren't running.
Still wicked though.
So Adam Williams still connected, but not on track. Jason Upton is still running 33rd.
Alright, white flag.
34 cars
Final
running
lap.
at the end as we're on the final lap. Shane Van Gisbergen out there on the back straight. Well clear of the rest of the field as he brings it over the hill now and down into Dandenong Road for the last time, and just a couple of corners left for him to negotiate here.
Yeah, what I'm talking. What a day. Craziness, eh?
Yeah, awesome. Awesome stuff. Shane Van Gisbergen bringing it across the line to take the win there. Harrison Dingate comes home second, Blake Delaney third. Ryan Wood holding on to, is he going to hold on to fourth with a damaged car? He does just get there, I think. Jeremy Maxwell fifth, Connor Nixon sixth. I think those were lap cars that were pressuring Ryan Wood there. Jamie Dykes seventh, Joel Hanks eighth. Blake Warby's just coming around the final corner now. He's going to come home in ninth position. And James Anderson, I think, was a lap down, crossing the line in 10th position and already exited out. So what a race.
Wicked awesome. Marlborough car made it home. Lucky.
Oh, congratulations, boys.
What a wicked day, eh?
Yeah, I had a
Woo.
blast up here in the lounge.
Yeah, massive credit to you guys. It's a long time in there.
Yeah, well, Doug's going to be doing Bathurst, hopefully with Corey alongside him for that one as well, and that's going to be an even longer time up in the broadcasting lounge. 1,000 k's rather than 500 k's, so we'll.
Hopefully I'm feeling a bit better because, to be honest with you, I feel so shit right now.
Well, you done bloody well, Corey. Awesome, man.
Yeah, good on you for sticking it out when you're not feeling too well. That's massive
I
credit to you
drunk 600 ml bottles of water since we started.
that.
Well done.
I'm
You want to
hydrated
wind
though.
her up?
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, thanks for having me along, boys. I actually really enjoyed it, and I will be coming in and doing a few more because it seems to be better than getting taken out in a race, I guess. It's yeah, you can't take me out in the comms box.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers for coming along. We've enjoyed having you here with us. As Wayne drops back down to the voice channel with his team, I'll say a big thank you to Wayne and Sean and Doug for dropping in from time to time, and thanks to Dane who we were able to grab a chat with during the race as well, and thanks Corey for keeping me company. It's been an awesome day, awesome race we've seen. Thanks to Simblacks for getting on board and supporting this race. Couldn't do it without you. And great to have you along to put up some prizes for the guys to get out there and have some fun. And it's not all about giving away to the winner of the race. We've got a prize out there for least incident points. We've picked our prize for best livery. Don't know that we've come to a conclusion on best profile photo yet, but I'm sure we'll come to a decision on that somehow.
Yeah, well, we might have to grab a screenshot of each one and maybe put it up on Facebook. David Nash versus Bill Kilgore.
Yeah, that's a fair call, and I might be able to quickly bring those up. So there's Bill. Don't know that I'm able to grab David. Oh,
I
yes,
can grab his
he
screenshot.
was there. So there's David there. So we'll get those screenshot before we exit the server. But those are those guys there for you. Yeah, cheers everybody for coming along and having a watch. And Broadcasting Lounge will be back on Tuesday with Doug and I for some V8 racing. I believe we're actually going to be back here at Sandown for that one. So that'll be.
Go
Hopefully,
back to Bill.
hopefully the guys won't be getting sick of it there. There's Bill. Yeah, so hopefully the guys haven't already had enough of this track and we'll still get a good turnout on Tuesday night. You can come along and watch that. We'll look forward to seeing you there, and hopefully we'll see you either back in the lounge at some point, Corey, or out on track somewhere.
I'd say you're probably going to see me in the lounge before out on track. But yeah, no, thank you very much, boys, and congratulations to everyone. I'm sure the race didn't go the right way for some and did for others, but I guess at the end of the day, that's racing, isn't it, in some ways? And yeah, I hope to see everybody back out there for Bathurst.
Yeah, 100%. Cheers, everyone. See you later.